Hey, in the immortal words of Judy Brown, happiness is a choice. And we're happy you're spending some time with us. Chip and Zay holding it down right here on the midday. Texas Sports Unfiltered. It's a big Tuesday. Why, you ask? Well, because we're all still here. We're all on the right side of the grass for another Tuesday. That's worth celebrating, right, Zay?
For sure. Yeah, it's always a blessing to wake up another day on this beautiful place that we call Earth and keep on living, man. Keep on living. But feeling good, feeling great on this Tuesday. Chip, how are you?
Man, I'm excited to see where the 3-loss Longhorns fall in these college football playoff committee rankings tonight. What, 7:30? We're getting released tonight. That's late. They keep moving this thing around depending on what other programming they have. But
yeah, they got was it on ESPN or ESPN2?
I think it's on ESPN.
Yeah, they got Kentucky plays Michigan State in basketball. Duke plays Kansas in basketball. I know Texas plays Rider today, but yeah, that Champions Classic that they always have with those 4 teams, it's tonight. So I'm sure that's why they're shifting stuff around a little bit.
That is exactly right. That is exactly right. It will follow the Kentucky-Michigan State basketball game. And we'll find out how much this committee is going to punish Texas for that 35-10 loss at Georgia. Texas was number 10 in the CFP committee rankings. And the thing is, Zay, you look at the teams that are going to be, right there in that area of 10, 11, 12, 13 in the rankings. And I mean, I know this sounds ridiculous, but I still think Texas has the better resume. But, BYU obviously has one loss. They lost to Texas Tech. But their best win is against Utah. Utah lost to BYU and Texas Tech. Their best win is not that good. And you got USC in there. USC, they beat Michigan and USC beat Michigan and Iowa. They lost to Notre Dame and Illinois. And, Vanderbilt. So Vanderbilt, that's one to watch for sure. I mean, does the committee still honor Texas's head-to-head win over Vanderbilt? If they don't, man, they might be screwed because they'd have, USC plays Oregon this week, so that'll clarify some stuff. But, we'll see. We'll see what the committee thinks of Texas, a 3-loss Texas. Everyone was saying if Texas would just lose close to Georgia, they probably wouldn't fall very far from 10. They might just fall one spot to 11 and stay right there in the, right on the verge of being in, because you still have to accommodate the highest ranked group of 6 team. Right now, that would be South Florida. So it's a tangled web, but if the committee continues to not punish Texas for losing to Ohio State, and you consider Texas has beaten Oklahoma, which just knocked off Alabama, and beat Vanderbilt, who were both top 10 teams at the time, then maybe Texas doesn't fall that far and they stay in the mix. We'll see.
No, look at you being positive on this Tuesday, man. Talking about
you look at the you look at the resumes. I mean, Miami has the best win, but they also have losses to Louisville and SMU. Louisville and SMU play this weekend in Dallas, by the way.
What's the best win?
What's that?
You think the best win's Notre Dame?
Yeah, Miami's win over Notre Dame is easily the best win of all those teams that are going to be jockeying for spots 11, 12, 13. I mean, Vanderbilt's wins were against then number 10 LSU, which has fallen off the face of the earth, and then a win over number 15 Missouri, who has lost its quarterback and lost its way. So committee's got a hard job. I get it. But like in my mind, there's no way Texas should be below Utah. I don't care that Utah's won 3 in a row, including a road win at Baylor. They don't have a win on par with Texas's win over Oklahoma. But who knows what's going on in the minds of the committee. So, one thing, Zay, do you have anything else on that?
I mean, I think it's going to be difficult for Texas not to drop a little bit just because, like what my man Naaman's saying here, like you're struggling with Kentucky, you're struggling with Mississippi State. I think you're confusing San Jose State with UTEP, Naaman, but it's cool. I get what you're saying, brother. It's just I said it yesterday, I'll be saying it all week because the stat is just so mind-boggling. When you're one of the worst teams, arguably the worst team, second to the worst team in the nation in penalties, it's tough, man. It's tough to reward that after you get your ass whooped by Georgia. Like, that's just, you want to call yourself one of the top teams getting the CFP, and you're getting blown out and embarrassed and disrespected. It's just, if you beat A&M by double digits, you gotta kill Arkansas this weekend. Like, I mean, it has to be ugly. Like, you gotta make my man Bobby not even want to coach anymore. Like, never want to step into Fayetteville because those dudes, they don't got nothing to play for. What do they have to play for, Chip? They've lost like 8 in a row.
They've lost 8 in a row.
Yeah, like.
But to their credit, 6 of those losses have been by 6 points or less. 5 have been by a combined 11 points. Like, they're playing teams. They played A&M to 3 points. They played, Tennessee to 3 points. Ole Miss to 6 points, lost to LSU last week by 1.
Even
I get it.
Pachino said it's hard to keep these guys motivated. When he says that, it's like, okay, Texas, you should be mad at the world coming in on Saturday. And Arkansas, they're just in the way. So, yeah, this is one of those kind of like what we saw from Tech 2 years ago. Remember when Tech came into DKR and got ran off the field? I need that type of performance, man. Just angry, just disrespectful. Kind of like how Kirby did you. That's how you need to do Bobby Petrino and the Razorbacks, because they on life support right now. You got to pull the plug.
Yeah.
You got, if you want a shot, I don't think they have a shot. You're more positive than me. I really don't think they have a shot. But if they want to give themselves a shot, both of these games the next 2 weeks, I think got to be handled by double digits. And I think Arkansas, you got to beat them by 20.
Okay, so Hair of the Dogs got the quote a little off. I think it was underachieving to who that Sark said, because Sark was asked what are the primary reasons for Texas underachieving this season. Sark said underachieving to who? So let's start there today. Because obviously Texas fans are down on the Longhorns after the 35-10 loss at Georgia. All the negatives come to the surface, just like you pointed out, Zay. All the penalties, the drops, the lack of ability to stop explosive plays defensively, which is something they've done all year. And so underachieving, I think you're going to say, yeah, it's underachieving. You knew Ohio State was going to be tough. You knew Georgia was going to be tough. You did not expect, and although we did think that Florida would be a tough game in the swamp, because we thought DJ Lagway would be a lot better. Turns out he was only good for Texas. And he did it on one leg, which still boggles my mind. But I think that's why it would be an underachieving season, because you went to Florida and looked like you were lost in the swamp.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you can pick your nits about the penalties and everything else.
So Texas fans are petty as hell, because somebody found this clip from 5 years ago where Steve Sarkisian, I'm sure you were at this press conference, but shout out to on Twitter at Texas Two Step. He posted from November 22nd, 2021, so 4 years ago, and Sark was asked about the state of the team and whatnot, and this is what he had to say, ironically.
Right? If I was in year 4 of our program and I had 3 or 4 losses already right now, and I've been banging this drum of where we're going to be 4 years from now, and we still aren't there, then I would be concerned. But we're in year 1. We're in the building phase of where we're headed as a program. In year 4, if I'm sitting here with 3 or 4 losses, then I would probably be more concerned.
Yeah, that's petty, because Texas has been Texas was a play away from playing in the national championship after a couple of semifinal appearances. It's amazing how everything's turned. Look at this stuff. Texas is getting demolished in 2027 recruiting in state.
2027. Yeah.
Sark is Tom Herman with NIL. No, he's better than that. Tom Herman was a wild man who got drunk off of his ego once he became the head coach at Texas. Everybody's talking about, how Sark's Kirby Smart is Sark's daddy. Well, Kirby lost his first 4 games to Nick Saban, and Kirby's the top of the game right now. Kirby's the top of the game. What other head coach in college football has 2 national championships? So,
yeah,
I get it.
Kirby and Dabo, and look where Dabo's program's at right now.
Yeah. We know Dabo was a little reluctant to get into the portal, but look, it looks like doom and gloom. You would think that Texas had just lost 6 in a row like they did back in 21. And then you got Desmond Howard taking his garbage out, saying, as I see this tennis ball in my lawn, shows the tennis ball, and then says,
Yo, we gotta play that again, man.
I mean, it is the most random. It's the most random thing I've ever seen.
Yo, he won the Heisman. He could do whatever he wants.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
And he's getting big money to be on game day. Look at that house behind him. That's his house in Miami.
Yeah.
Big old
he did play in the league for a little bit, but
yeah, but he played in the 90s when they weren't making the money they're making now.
Nah, but yo, you're hating on your fellow Michigan guy. Is he from Michigan?
No, he's from Florida. He's from the Miami area.
How the hell did he get up there?
He's from Boca Raton. Boca Raton.
I repeat, how the hell did he get up there?
Hey, man, Lloyd Carr, he was doing his homework.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, let's listen to Desmond Howard just, every day in Desmond's world, when he's outside, got his phone on him, and he had this to say.
Thinking, don't be surprised if that Texas job opens up at the end of the season. You guys were shocked when LSU opened up. Imagine how you're going to feel if that job in Austin pops open. I'm not calling or saying anyone's going to get fired. Maybe a mutual parting of ways. You dig? Anyway, you guys have a great Monday.
That's my favorite.
That didn't even include him as I'm taking my garbage out. And then he spots that tennis ball. That's not even the full clip. He's like, hey, as I'm taking my garbage out, I realize I miss my twins. And then he's like, and as I see this tennis ball in my yard, hey, don't be surprised if the Texas job opens up. Like, okay. Really?
Yo, that was a fire shirt he had on. You see his shirt? He had like all those legendary rock bands on it. And they're like logos and stuff. I saw like Jim Morrison and the Doors and Rolling Stones. He's got good taste in music or streetwear shirts, but yeah, it's very weird. Not good, because this is number 2 after the Diana Rossini, after that came out, her being with the Athletic and New York Times. So I don't know, man. You would think that Steve Sarkisian would be a fool with everything that he's been through, rehab, heart issues, like just from the mud, he had to go get it. Analysts, Nick Saban gave a chance on him. So why would you give that up? This is the dream job. But it can be stressful. Certain guys, they get in it. It sounds good. It sounds like a great job. You talked about it yesterday. Mac had 3 phones on deck. 3 of them things. That's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You got Quentin Jammer wilding on social media. Have you seen Quentin Jammers?
What's he saying?
Quentin's out of control. I hope it's him. I don't know. It might be, who knows now with AI and all this, that, and the third. But if you go on Quentin Jammer's Twitter, X, whatever the hell y'all call it nowadays, because he has a kid, and apparently Sark and Texas aren't recruiting the kid. And Quentin, he don't like that. He thinks that they're screwing this son over. And he's calling Texas out, talking about them being soft. And yeah. So, yeah, Quentin Jammer, he's funny. But yeah, alums. I saw Bo Scaife. He made comments on Twitter the other day talking about where's the tight ends at.
Everybody's piling in.
Bo Scaife buys as hell talking about where the tight ends at. But I feel him. I'm saying with you, Bo. Where they at? All I heard all off season was Jack Andrews is supposed to be the next Gunnar Helm. He don't got the body, but he should be able to come in and take Gunnar Helm's spot like that. Haven't seen that yet. Haven't seen that. They're rotating all these tight ends. Jordan Washington, dropping passes. I told you when Jordan Washington was weighed in at 270, whatever the hell he was, you can't catch the ball weighing all that. It's a lie. You got to be able to move. You got to be swift out there. Hands heavy. It's not good. Not good.
I love it. Troy's still on fire. We could easily have 5 losses right now.
Let them know, Troy.
Well, if my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle. I mean, they didn't lose. They won. Now, I'm the first to
that
say
in 2025 is crazy.
But Texas got that 23-6 win over Oklahoma. They're clinging on to that like a life raft after jumping off the Titanic, baby. Yeah. Everyone wants everyone fired. Fire them all.
Somebody got to get fired. That make me feel better.
Here we go.
I can't feel too bad for guys losing their jobs. They're millionaires. Some are making that 6-figure money, but 6-figure money, that's cool too.
You want to just draw a name out of a hat to fire? Is that what you're saying?
I say we draw a name, look at it, discuss it. We have a few names. There's not everybody's name is in the hat. Kenny Baker's good. Kenny Baker's looking at everybody getting dropped in the hat. Alan Clark, he's looking at everybody get dropped in the hat. Kenny Baker, Alan Clark, they chilling. Everybody else, I don't know. We're going to have some conversations. That's just what it is. Like, we gotta
Kyle Flood has some explaining to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Jeff Banks too. What? Tied it.
What?
He can't do both. I don't think he can do both anymore. He has to pick one. He has to because one will thrive while the other will struggle. Last year, the tight ends, Gunnar Helm, solid. Bert Auburn, dog shit. That's what it is. This year,
Jack
Ryan Niblett,
Bomeister, Mason Shipley have been solid. Ryan Niblett, solid.
Tight ends, non-existent. So does he have to do both? I get it. We all want to get paid extra. He feels like he can accomplish the world. And he has Mrs. Banks now. They just got married. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. That's a lot.
He's also one of your best recruiters.
Okay. I'm not saying get rid of him. I'm saying, does he have to do both? I don't think he does.
Well,
I don't think he does. I'd rather him do special teams. We need to bring in somebody for the tight ends. Let's bring it because they all can't be this bad. Like, they're trying to play all of them. What happened to Spencer Shannon? You were so high on Spencer Shannon in the offseason.
He's playing a lot. He doesn't get targeted because he's not going to run away from anyone.
But
where's my man Amari Winston?
But then I look in Athens and I see Kirby Smart got about 8 or 9 tight ends. Just
those guys were all top recruits.
Okay, so you're making my points here. Why aren't Texas getting into these top recruits for tight ends? Why are they all going there?
They're just young. Jordan Washington's playing in his first year.
You're making a lot of excuses. You're making a lot of excuses.
A lot of excuses.
Yes.
If you'd seen massive production from these guys and then it all fell off, that'd be one thing. My thing is Jordan Washington's getting his first real playing time this year. So is, Nick Townsend. I don't know why they're not playing Amari Winston some more, because I'd rather see Amari Winston than Jordan Washington. Jordan Washington's got 3 drops on the year, for God's sake. So, yeah, I get that frustration. But, earlier in the year, no one was complaining about Jack Endry's catching 2 touchdown passes against San Jose State, but then he had to stay in and max protect. Don't forget that. The screw-ups on the offensive line led to the tight ends having to stay in to max protect, and that was all a waste of time because they should have been playing Cole Hudson at left guard, from the jump. And it took too long to figure that out, cost them the Florida game. So, yeah, I don't think there's any question this team is underachieved in it, and a lot of it's been self-inflicted. And, you know, the running back room, okay, Quintravian Wisner and CJ Baxter both had hamstring injuries. So you went through this little audition with Jared Gibson and Christian Clark and James Simon. And you're playing each of those guys. None of them got into a rhythm. I mean, it's been a mess. Been a mess. And right now, Texas hoping the committee doesn't look too deep into all that.
Oh yeah, they're gonna look. They're gonna look.
But if Texas, you know, comes out, looks good like they did against Vanderbilt and actually closes out a game, even though it's 50-50, if they're going to have Anthony Hill or not, who's got a fractured fifth metacarpal.
What is that?
They call it the boxer's fracture. So it's this bone right here is broken.
Did you watch the game over? You see what play it happened? Did it happen when he had to go out the game?
I don't know when it happened. It happened sometime in the
ran over on that play.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's another obstacle Texas is going to have to overcome, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It's
like guys like Leon Lafau, they should have took a step up. Why is he just?
He's doing good against the run. The whole problem is the front and the back of the defense do not look tied together. And that concerns me. That concerns me from a cohesion standpoint. And that's something that Sark and the coaching staff knows, but it's not working right now. And that's a problem. So, you know, if that shows up against Arkansas or A&M, then we won't even need to worry about the College Football Playoff Committee rankings because Texas will have a fourth loss. So this is, you know.
Yep, Ritz Cracker Bowl, here we come.
Ritz or Cheez-It?
I don't know, man.
And the crazy thing about the SEC bowl selection, this will be the first time Texas kind of experiences it. Well, no, it will be. The SEC picks where you go. It's not about, you know, it's not about order of finish. Once you get past their automatic selections, the SEC decides which team's going where, which I always found really interesting because that can get.
Yeah, if I'm Greg Sankey, I'm sitting in Texas somewhere cold. You know that game they always play at Yankee Stadium when it's always like a blizzard out there? Send them there.
Oh, Lord.
Send them there. Or that game that they play at Arrowhead, T. Cox. Send them there. Like, yeah.
You want to punish them.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the SEC gonna do. SEC don't care about Texas. You know? I'd rather Sark just say that, man. We're getting hosed on penalties because the SEC get fined. Sark, you're making enough. Sometimes coaches got to take the fine for the sake of the team. Like, L'Oreal don't need that outfit. Take the fine. Let her know, come in like, yo, we're the worst team in the nation in penalties. I got to get fined today. That trip that you wanted to take to Milan, we're going to have to postpone that for a little bit because I'm going to be a little animated today. L'Oreal should understand. You know what I mean? because she signed up for this. This comes with the gig, because there's some. I remember that Spencer Shannon holding call that they had against Vanderbilt. You remember that? Where it was just like, where's it at? What are they calling? That's, you're undisciplined, but also the SEC, there's a reason why a dude got sent on leave for a little bit. SEC be on some sketchy stuff. The refs overall, suspect. So, yeah, I'm good with Sark coming in and just being like, yo, SEC refs, they've been trying to hose us the whole year, screwing us over. I don't understand it. I go out and I watch Alabama, Georgia, Florida, LSU play. They're doing the same things as us. We get called for it. They don't. Greg, what's up? Take the fine. I'm cool with that. I'm sure everybody that's a Texas fan would be cool with that. I'm sure Cristel Conte would be cool with that, because sometimes you just got to stick up for your team. And yeah, other schools are going to say, oh, look at Sark bitching, look at Sark complaining and blah, blah, blah. So they hate us because they ain't us. And what? Like, it's all the other 15 teams against Texas. That's what it's felt like, because Texas have just came in, like you always say, Chip, taking their women, taking their money, all that stuff. First few years in the SEC, all them other sports. Softball winning natties. Women's basketball getting to Final Four. Volleyball going crazy. So, yeah, like there's a jealousy that these other schools have on Texas. And sometimes when you see these bad calls, it makes you think, you know me, I be on my conspiracy stuff all the time. Like, it's sketchy. So, yeah, Sark, let them know. Because, man, again, undisciplined team or not, 135 in the nation is just ridiculous.
Man, people are salty as all get out. I love it. I love it. I point out the fact that the college football playoff committee rankings are coming out tonight. People are like, there's no college football playoff committee rankings for us. We're terrible. We're hot garbage. I love it. All right, then let's not talk Texas football today. How's that?
What you want to talk about then? You want to talk about your boy Dak Prescott killing last night, dominating, and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens hitting the slots till 2 a.m. So they're suspended for the first drive.
How dumb is George Pickens?
What do you mean?
He watches J-Mo Williams, Jameson Williams hump the goalpost and get a penalty, and then he just goes and does it and gets the same penalty. Like, that guy don't care one bit.
He does.
It's all about me. It's all about me.
Yo, him as a wide receiver too. He's good. He is dumb, that's for sure. But he didn't hump it. He just kind of jumped on there. And he just jumped and hit it and fell back.
Straddled it.
J-Mo was on top of it and stuff and grabbing it and pulling it tight. And J-Mo was doing the most. George Pickens, yeah, it was dumb.
Oh, now we're gonna measure degrees of hugging the goalpost.
Yeah, man. It should be like,
Williams gave it a bear hug and George Pickens gave it a peck on the cheek.
Yeah, you know how in basketball, when you hang on the rim, the longer you hang, the more you're, susceptible of getting the tech. It's kind of like that. I think the longer you should be on there, the refs need to be counting 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. You on there for 3 seconds, gone. And let the guys start dunking on the goalposts again. Like, that's awesome. Do they hate the NBA that much? Does the NFL hate basketball that much that guys, which most likely the ones scoring the touchdowns, probably played basketball back in the day, still love the game? Let them dunk it. Like Tony Gonzalez, that was one of my favorite celebrations when he used to dunk it over the goalpost. Now they flag the dudes every time. It's just soft. These guys soft. Because again, if you're up there, I feel like their excuse would be they could harm the goalposts in some way. Like they could alter it to where you're going to have to stop the game to fix it, and they don't want that to happen. The guys scoring the touchdowns are usually light enough to where that's not going to be an issue. It's not like we have somebody the size of Quentin Williams going up there and Shaq Diesel in that thing. You dig? I gotta go Desmond Howard. You dig? So, yeah, I would like to see that back because I saw it the other day and it got flagged. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. This Cowboys team is schizophrenic. But hey, man, they went to Vegas and beat up on those absolutely hapless Raiders. So,
yeah, they're comparing my man Pete Carroll to Joe Biden. Like, it's just like, give Pete a chance. It's just year one. You know, Geno's horrible. Geno's going back to the Geno we saw the first 5 years. Like, Geno tricked y'all. And sometimes it be like that. It goes to show that some guys are just system guys. They need that offensive coordinator. They need the head coach. They need everything to be perfect. The weapons around them, the offensive line, a stable running attack. They need so much just for them to be successful. Geno's not one of those guys where he could just bounce around from team to team and that team's going to get better just because he's there. A lot needs to go together. You just can't throw it to Brock Bowers 60 times a game. I'm sure they want to do that, but they traded Jacoby Myers. They ain't got no receiver. Ashton Jeanty, he be doing rookie mistake stuff. Like, dude, you're in the end zone, Ashton Jeanty. Why would you stop running? You're in the end zone. Safety territory. If you don't get out, that's 2 points and the ball for the other team. Like, this is elementary stuff here. For him to get the handoff and stop for a split second, that's just that rookie mistake. You know, like,
he's had a lot of them.
Yeah, he's had a lot of them. Like, a lot of people's pick for rookie of the year, it has not been that. Yeah, Raiders, they're that team on everybody's schedule where you just check off a win. And Crosby,
but I guarantee you send Ashton Jeanty to another team, he'll be all right. He is buried on a team that has to keep throwing to try to catch up. Like, they're out of games so fast, he doesn't even get a chance.
Yeah, and Crosby, he gonna give you one big play a game, which he did that, but y'all gotta help him out. They only came out with 3. They were right there. You're right in the red zone when Crosby strips Dak. You gotta put up 6. Can't do it. Pete can't do it. Chip Kelly stealing money. Just thief. Just a straight up thief, man. Like, and that goes for coaches too. You talk about Geno, you talk about Ashton Jeanty being in another system. We saw Chip Kelly win a national championship. Look what he had around him. I see Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson. They're the 2 best rookie running backs in the league. They're doing way better than what Ashton Jeanty's doing. He had them on his squad, and Jeremiah Smith. Emeka Mbuka, if he didn't get hurt, he would have probably been rookie of the year. Still might get it. There's a lot of football to be played. But, oh, no, Chip, he had to be a big part of that. Old Chip Kelly, let's pay him. Let's pay him. Let's get him back in the NFL where the game's different and pay him because he's going to work that magic that he did in Columbus over here in Vegas. And clearly that's not the case, man. It's crazy, but that's how it be sometimes.
Yeah, they're awful. Hey, DeMarvion Overshown made his debut, had a tackle for loss. Come on.
He looked good. Yeah.
Quinnen Williams, 1.5 sacks.
Really good. Quinn Williams looked really good. Like, I know you question his age. He has to prove that was a good pick. And he's one of the best.
I question giving up a second round and a first round pick for him at going on 30.
This is win now. Going on 30. This is win now. If you shot it, you only got 3 years anyway. This is win now, baby.
Yeah, no, he keeps playing like that. It's all good.
And this was the perfect year for the Cowboys. Jaden Daniels hurt. Commanders, they sorry. Giants, sorry. Eagles defense is amazing, but their offense, they got all types of Dr. Phil problems in that locker room. Which AJ Brown, how are you still bitching, dude? How are you? Is that just a Mississippi brother? I don't know what that is. I don't know. I don't understand because he's from Mississippi, so guys getting out of there, they just maybe don't know how to act right because all that money, like, there's a certain entitlement. I get wide receivers are divas, but AJ Brown, he acts so entitled and just, I don't know. It's weird. They shouldn't be having problems, like, at all. It's very odd that a team that won a Super Bowl the previous year that has basically the same core that got them there as last year having these types of problems. And, Jalen Hurts, he's going to be as professional as he can be, with his corny analogies and stuff. But, yeah, you're struggling right now. It is what it is. Like, figure it out. You're winning, though. Like, I just, to be bitching about it, it's weird. It's weird behavior. Because I'm sure a lot of fan bases would love to have the problems that the Eagles are having.
And Nick Sirianni has no ability to rein it in. It just keeps happening.
Yeah, because they're acting like it's not a big deal. Which, in a way, it isn't because they're still winning. So, right. To their defense, like, why would you really, if you were losing, in a way, you would have no choice but to acknowledge it. But you're winning, so it's kind of like, yeah. But if they lose to whoever, which that's definitely possible, they're not putting up enough points. Like, their defense, they just can't keep doing this. They're going to run into somebody that's going to light their ass up. It is the National Football League, after all. I just saw Bryce Young have the greatest game of his life in his young career. Nobody was expecting that. Throw over 400 yards and I think like 5 touchdowns, something like that. Like, all these guys are getting paid buku money. So it's bound to happen eventually. You just hope that it doesn't happen when it matters the most if you're an Eagles fan, because if it does happen, it's going to go right back to A.J. Brown and everybody's going to blame, they just weren't tight in the locker room. They had way too many distractions off the field, not buttoned up enough. And sucks, man. It sucks when you're trying to do dynasty stuff.
Hey, I always say it's hard to motivate millionaires, but man, when you get a seed like that, at some point, Jalen Carter and, the big fellas need to go over to AJ's locker and be like, yo, bro, can you shut up for a week while we win, while we keep winning? Because I'm sure they all get sick of being asked about it. He's dragging his books out to the bench during the games. He's reading Grapes of Wrath or whatever the hell he's reading.
Grapes of Wrath.
So, I mean, I give Jalen Hurts credit, man, because he's the target of all of it. We got Troy over here saying AJ deserves a real quarterback.
Whoa, what?
I'm like, damn.
A Super Bowl winning quarterback's not a real quarterback now?
Yeah,
come on, man. He's like MVP.
Like, and Jalen Hurts is kind of a dream quarterback because he doesn't say much. He just grinds. He overcame fumbling in the Super Bowl, cost his team dearly, came back, won it. And I'm like, damn, Eagles fans, good luck. Y'all deserve each other. Because Eagles fans are nutso.
What's crazy is it's in them. It's not like they haven't done it before. We saw last year how they lit up Kansas City in that Super Bowl. Like, they're capable of breaking out and dominating, but they've been a lot more conservative with Saquon Barkley this year. That's had a lot to do with them being a balanced attack, because last year Saquon was breaking Eric Dickerson's record, which means he had to get mad touches. You can't do that no more. Like, if you want him to last and if you want to have this dynasty thing, then you got to be very smart with Saquon Barkley, who is over the famous 27-year-old running back line. So now it's just, you just pray and hope that he can stay healthy, and he's already had injury problems in the past. You got to make sure he's available once late December, early January come around. So it's changed just their explosiveness, because teams know that. Teams know that, oh, Saquon, he ain't going to get those touches like normal. And Jalen Hurts, he has to be smart too. He can't run like he normally does because he has to save his body. So right now, early, November, this is when I think they're going to start revving it up. This is when I think Sirianni, that playbook's going to start opening up a lot more when it becomes colder and you have to run the football because the climate is just that tough where it's required. That's where I think Philly will start to thrive more. But damn, AJ, relax, man.
Yeah. This week, we got Buffalo at the Houston Texans. Buffalo is favored in that game by 5.5. Buffalo's all over the place.
Hey, Souls, don't kill me. A little conjuring from Zay coming right now, but Davis Mills has won 2 back-to-back games. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Nah, they going to start CJ Stroud. They got to. CJ Stroud's been out for a while. Concussion protocol. Like, they threw Arch Manning back out there the week after like it was nothing. CJ Stroud's been out 2 weeks. Davis Mills, it wasn't pretty this past weekend, but he got it done. But Josh Allen, 3 touchdowns through the air, 3 on the ground. Here we go. He hungry, man. They should be hungry. Like, why? The fact that the Bills haven't been able to get over that Kansas City hump, which this might be the best year for them, because you look at Kansas City, 5-5. Will they make the playoffs? Like, if they do, I wouldn't pick against Patrick Mahomes, but if you're Buffalo and that's always been the needle on your side, yeah, you feel good about that, trying to make this playoff run, and Kansas City won't be there at all. Josh Allen, he's the best quarterback in the AFC, and that's the case. So how do you not go against him? He looked good on Sunday. He looked real good.
You got Indianapolis and Kansas City this week. That's a showdown right there.
Kansas City needs it.
Yeah, at home and Arrowhead. Danny Dimes and Jonathan Taylor coming into town.
Danny Dimes starting to look like the old Danny Dimes.
Not good.
Not good, Colts fans. Colts fans, man. Keep giving it to Jonathan Taylor. That's all I'd say. That dude. He's having an MVP type season. Like, in the league with Jahmyr Gibbs and Derrick Henry and Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor has separated himself from all those guys this year and has really put on for Indianapolis. So, yeah, they're good.
You look at Jonathan Taylor. this dude has been doing it. I mean, this guy is what year? Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's in his 6th year in the league. He's averaging 6 yards a carry. He's already got 15 touchdowns rushing. He's already got 30 catches on 32 targets. The dude is, I mean, he is absolutely lighting it up. He should be the MVP.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Like,
I mean,
where Indianapolis is, I think so. Their offensive line's so good. Quentin Nelson, man. If you're a guard, you play football and you're young, and you have a son that plays guard, show him Quentin Nelson tape, because that guy, it's incredible how he moves. He is so fast when he pulls. And, like, there's plays where Jonathan Taylor, it'll be like a 20-yard touchdown run. And you'll see, like, Quentin Nelson, like, right behind him. Because Quentin Nelson, like, bulldozed somebody to open up a hole for Jonathan Taylor. And Quentin Nelson is still up on his feet. And he's so fast that he's, like, right with Jonathan Taylor when he crosses the goal line. Like, it's incredible how athletic some of these offensive linemen are. And you hear what Dan Neal always says, if you mix all the measurements and talent with just being a straight-up dog and football player, yeah, you got something special on your hands. And Quentin Nelson, easily a Hall of Famer, like maybe first ballot.
Yeah, I mean, if Danny Dimes regresses, that's the same argument that people are making against the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Sam Darnold disappears when it's playoff time or big game time.
Yeah, 4 interceptions.
Yeah, I mean,
that's nasty work, man. You know, and that they say that about Justin Herbert too. Like, Justin Herbert, certain guys, when that weather gets a little nippy, you know, your body sore, everybody hurt. Yeah, Darnold was awful the other night. How you like Jay Foreman? Oh,
meanwhile, the Carolina Panthers are right there, neck and neck with Baker and the Bucks. How about them apples?
Yeah,
Carolina going to win that division?
They might. I mean, shout out to JT Sanders. You know, he's getting some bump. I wish Jonathan Taylor was able to play, but yeah, Bryce Young, he's getting better. Like,
you mean Jonathan Brooks?
Jonathan Brooks, thank you. Bryce Young, he did some really good things the other day, and the Falcons, they're done. Michael Penix Jr., I think he's out for the rest of the season, which if you're a Falcon, you know, GM, if you're the Falcons GM and front office guy, you knew the risk with Michael Penix. You know, basically his whole tenure at Indiana, he was in the tub. He was having surgery. He was rehabbing. That 1 year, maybe a couple of years with Kalen DeBoer where he was healthy, he made things happen. But if he's getting hurt in college all the time, then you throw him into the NFL, and now you're playing against bigger, stronger, faster guys. It's not very surprising that he's hurt now. And now you got to deal with Kurt. They're done. Falcons are done.
You think Kirk Cousins has any gas left in the tank?
I mean, at least he's played before. At least he
they're paying him a fortune.
Yeah. So he wasn't good when he had to come in the game the other day. You could tell he's rusty, but I've watched quarterback both seasons that he's on. We know Kurt's going to prepare. We know Kurt takes the game seriously. We know Kurt has the respect of his peers. So a lot of NFL teams would love to have their backup quarterback being Kirk Cousins. So if you're Raheem Morris and the Falcons, you gotta keep hope alive and bank on that Kirk Cousins still has some left in the tank, but there's a reason why you benched him in the first place with all the money that he was paid.
Meanwhile, Bryce Young quietly getting some stuff done for the Panthers. I mean, he's been pretty solid. Close games, close game wins. They won at Green Bay. Explain that to me.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. But I love when quarterbacks get better. Like, you're the number one pick. You struggle in first season. You get benched in your second. A lot of people have written you off as a bust. The guy that went after you is thriving and making playoff runs and going to the Pro Bowl, and CJ Stroud. So I'm sure that was difficult for him, but he just kept his head down and kept grinding and kept learning. And they're giving them a lot of opportunities. And they bring in McMillan from Arizona. That's a really good pick. First wide receiver taken off the board. Xavier Legette is a solid wide receiver, especially him being your wide receiver too. So now he has way more weapons than he did in those first few years. And with him and his progress of getting better, we're starting to see that shine a little bit. So good for him, because he's undersized. He doesn't have the biggest arm, but he's hard to tackle. You know, he's becoming more smart by the minute, and they're not one-dimensional. They're giving the ball to Rico Dowdle, who has been a huge surprise for them. Rico Dowdle, Cowboys fans know, which that was brutal. That dude ran all over the Cowboys after they got rid of his ass. But, yeah, they did not expect Rico Dowdle to be this solid this year, and with the help of him, it's made the Panthers relevant and not an easy win like years past.
Yeah, man, those Panthers. I mean, the NFC is crazy because right now the Lions are not in the playoffs.
What?
They're not in it.
Let me ask you this: how you feel about Dan Campbell calling plays?
He needs to kick some field goals, man. He needs to kick some field goals. I mean, he's wearing me out with this stuff. And he admitted it after the game, you know, against the Eagles. He's like, I gotta help these guys out more. You know, he wants to run it. I get it. And that's good. They should run it with that offensive line and Sonic and Knuckles. But man, when you're in the deep red zone on the road against the defending world champs, you got to kick some field goals, man. It's crazy because you got the Bears up there at 7-3, leading the division. They have been outscored by 6 points this season, and they're in first place. I mean, the Panthers have been outscored by 42 points, and they're 6-5. Meanwhile, the Rams have outscored opponents by 100. They've won 5 in a row. They look like the best team in the NFC. Matt Stafford going to win another Super Bowl.
He might.
I hope the Rams stay healthy. I like watching them play.
Yeah, me too. I didn't know how much Devontae Adams had left in the tank. You know, he got nicked up the week prior, and he was available this past weekend against Seahawks and had a touchdown. But I didn't know how much he had left just because, you know, the stint in New York, I was weird and just it didn't work. It didn't fit. And Father Time has to catch up with some of these guys, but future Hall of Famer. He's got 10 touchdown catches. That's what I'm saying. I did not expect that. Like, him and Stafford, they got good repertoire. Puka Nakua's a dog. Kyron Williams is maybe the most underrated running back in the National Football League. Like, they're tough. And then that fool Stafford, he's out here throwing 20-yard passes, not even looking, man. Like, there's guys, he's throwing in windows. Yeah, like you're throwing in windows of the zone that aren't open much. And you're looking over here at the sideline and stuff. And some guys are just different. And he's one of those dudes, you know. Highland Hills legend, that Matt Stafford.
Highland Park.
Highland Park, that's right. Highland Park legend. Him and
Highland. Yeah. They are Highland Park Scots. I don't even know what a Scot is. But yeah, this week you got Chicago and Pittsburgh. Come on, Steelers. You need to play like the Steelers.
Aaron Rodgers hurt his wrist.
He owns Chicago. He'll tell you that.
He hurt his
wrist. What you mean? He kills
He hurt his wrist. He hurt his wrist. It might be like fractured, right?
Damn.
Yeah, if he's hurt, won't need surgery for fractured wrists. Aaron Rodgers wants to play with fractured wrists. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Turn him loose. Turn him loose.
Yo, 42 years old, fractured wrist, no surgery, man. Still trying to play. That's love of the game. Say what you want about Aaron Rodgers. All I hear is hate from Aaron Rodgers. He's one of the best to ever do it. So what? He doesn't love his family. So what? He's not the best teammate and he takes drugs in caves. That dude could throw the damn pigskin. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Show me you want to be here. Play through injury. That earns everybody's respect in there. All those dogs. You got Jalen Ramsey getting spit in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got a chance to really make some noise. I didn't know how this would go, this stint with the Steelers, but it's gone way better than I thought. And Mike Tomlin and Rodgers, I didn't think they would get along. I thought there would come a point of time where they would butt heads just because both of them have polarizing personalities. But it's worked. Like, they get along just fine, and they're in the mix. They're in the mix at that 4th seed. So, yeah, I could appreciate what Aaron Rodgers has done this season, all things considered.
Well, I'm looking at this thing and I'm saying, I mean, we still got games to play. Long way to go. 7 more games to play. 6 for some. But man, if you're going surprise teams, who's the bigger surprise? The Bears, the Patriots, the Panthers.
You gonna throw the Colts in there or no?
Yeah, Colts.
I would say the Colts, just because of who their quarterback is. Maybe the Bears too. You know, Ben Johnson, he's done a hell of a job, but that Bears schedule's so weak. Like, they gotta play. It's about to get real too. Like, go look at the Bears schedule.
Pittsburgh, at the Eagles, at the Packers, then the Browns, then the Packers, then the 49ers, then the Lions. Yeah, it's about to get real.
About to get real. Yeah,
here we
go. Here we go, Caleb Williams. Because even the Browns, they gonna give you a game. You got to deal with Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, 12 sacks already. Like, that dude, he said, yo, I ain't trying to win, but I'm going to get my stats up. I'm going to the Hall of Fame. There ain't going to be many wins by my name when it's all said and done, but ain't going to be a lot of sacks by my name and a lot of money, too, of what he got paid. So I hope it's worth it, Myles Garrett. But, yeah, that's who Caleb Williams going to have to deal with. And the rest of those games, they might go over.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, it's a crazy year in the NFL. It's a crazy year in college football. I mean, it's crazy. We're talking about the ACC. No one knows who's going to win that league. You got 6 teams still eligible to be in the ACC championship game. Virginia, Georgia Tech, SMU, Miami, Duke, and Pitt. You got 4 teams still alive in the SEC to play in the championship game. Bama, Georgia, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss. I mean, and the Big 12, it's going to be Texas Tech and who? BYU plays your Cincinnati Bearcats this week.
That's a huge game.
Huge.
A huge game.
Who you got?
Bearcats.
Who you got in that one? Bearcats?
Yeah.
You calling it? Calling your shot?
Calling it.
Okay.
Calling it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they got to go to the Natty too. Yeah. That's a long trip from Provo. That's a long trip from Provo. Yeah.
That's 7 o'clock on Fox. BYU -2.5 at Cincinnati.
I like that a lot. So who's Utah have left?
Utah is they play K-State this week in Salt Lake City. Utah is favored by 17.5.
Yeah.
You think Chris Kleiman's got anything left in him?
No,
No,
they're done. Stick a fork in them.
No.
I hate saying this, but I need Tech to win out. Just go ahead and win the Big 12. I'm over it already. I need BYU to lose, and I need, if BYU loses and somehow Utah gets in, because that's what it would be, right? Utah, they only got 2 losses in the Big 12 against BYU and against Tech. So if BYU loses twice, BYU's still probably going to Arlington just because they would have that head-to-head matchup. And they only lost 1 game. So, God, if Utah makes it in without even going to the Big 12 championship, I'm going to lose it. That sounds awful. That sounds awful, man. That sounds terrible. Because then think about it like this, Chip. Let's say BYU loses this weekend, 2 losses. Then BYU loses a 3rd game at Jerry World in the Big 12 championship. You got the Utes at home chilling. They lost to BYU, but they only have 2 losses, even though BYU, if what I'm saying comes true, would have 3. So if you're the committee, how the hell would you put Utah in? Like, they're just, that wouldn't make any sense. Now, if BYU wins, even then, how would you put Utah in?
Right.
Like, that's just, I don't know. I have no idea how they're just hanging around the spot they're hanging at. I don't know if Kyle Whittingham is just a homie to some folks in the committee or something, but that would be a crazy scenario.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. But that's where we are. I mean, I know people are like, man, what the hell's going on? But it is, once you get down to 10, 11, 12, right in there, it's not as clear cut as everybody thinks. Now, Texas has the hardest road, but like Georgia Tech's a good football team, and they're probably battling it out with Miami just to stay in the mix. And what if my SMU Mustangs win the ACC? Is the ACC going to get left out totally? South Florida is playing, oh, hell. They're playing UAB. That's a win. So if South Florida just keeps winning, they could end up as the highest, the fifth highest ranked conference champion ahead of the ACC. And the ACC be left out. That'd be amazing. I mean, this is wild. It's wild. These last two games, it's gonna be wild. This committee, and now we got a new committee chairperson because Mac Rhodes is taking some personal time.
Oh, somebody already took the job?
Yeah, it's what is it? It's not Hunter Yurachek, is it? Or is it? CFP.
Who replaced?
It's the Utah.
Smart, yeah.
Oh no, Hunter. No, it is Hunter Yurachek. The Big 12 wanted it to be Utah's AD, but the committee said, no, we're going with Hunter Yurachek, who's the AD at Arkansas. So he's taking over as the chair from Mac Rhodes, who stepped down.
Hunter, you got to look for a coach too, bro. How much time you got?
Yeah, he's busy.
And he's a busy man right now. Yeah. I'm sure Hunter.
Man, I think Arkansas
this weekend.
I think Arkansas should hire Jeff Traylor. They probably won't because they need something flashy. 5-5.
Yeah, it's tough.
Not great.
That's not good.
Not great. It's the wrong time to go 5-5. But Traylor can coach, man. Traylor can coach.
Does he want that job though? That's a tough gig.
Yeah. I mean, I think he wants to be somewhere that has some NIL money, and he'll do the rest. He'll evaluate and coach him up. Last year he was 7-6 at UTSA. And the 3 years before that, he was a conference champion. So, of course, he had that 7-year quarterback. That helped.
Oh, yeah, the lefty. What was his name?
Oh man. Yeah, that dude. Frank, wasn't it like not Frank Wilson? That's
something like that.
Frank Harris. That dude was a good college quarterback for about 8 years. 7 seasons he spent at UTSA.
Of course he has 34 school records. He was there 8 years.
7 seasons. Because of COVID. He was a COVID era quarterback. Yeah.
He was tiny, but he could sling it. He has some juice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he had some juice, man. Frank Harris, baby. Getting it done. Yeah, Traylor would love to be in the state of Texas. But
right now,
Arkansas may be the closest. And he's from East Texas. I mean, Arkansas, he knows that area. He knows how to recruit. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
I hope he does not go to Oklahoma State. I just feel like Oklahoma State I want him to be in a better situation than that.
How is that not a good situation? You don't have to play LSU. You don't have to play Texas. You don't got to play all these teams. You get an easier path. How's that? What do you mean? Yeah. You don't got to play.
I don't feel like that university's aligned right now. I don't think it's a good job. You got to have alignment. You got to have, and I'm not saying Arkansas is all that, but when they can get money if they want, with the Walton family, Tyson Chicken, there's money at Arkansas. You just gotta show progress. You gotta give them a reason to open up them wallets. Like Pittman had it going when he beat the brakes off of Texas in 2021. Oh, those Hog fans got so excited. They're like, but then Rocket Sanders left. He went to South Carolina. And KJ Jefferson, I mean, everybody left. It was like, damn. Come on, Sam.
Yeah.
Get your NIL guys in line.
And Taylor Green about to leave too. He gone. Ain't no way Taylor Green staying there for another year. Ain't no way.
He gone?
Oh, he has to be. You have to see what's out there. You know? Right now, Fayetteville, just everyone who's there currently just has a bad taste in your mouth. Everybody needs to see if that grass is greener on the other side. I ain't mad at it. But yeah. It's time. It's time to make some changes. Now, basketball, John Calipari, he got everybody on the basketball.
That's where all that NIL money is.
That's where all that NIL money is. Yeah, so whoever comes in needs to know. Oh, John out there. You want to ask about where the money going? Ask John about where that money going. Because they got a couple of freshmen right now that I know they paying. They could hoop. So.
Well, let me tell you who else can hoop. Humann can hoop, baby. Humann, the super beats, baby. Super beats. Look at this. 2 times more effective blood pressure support from clinically researched grape seed extract. That research was done at the University of Texas Health Science Center. And look, the cardiologists it's the #1 cardiologist recommended beet brand for heart health support. And so you're getting, these incredible heart health supplements from Humann. And I love it. I'm a collector of supplements, and I have found my sweet spot with Humann. The Super Beets, they're super tasty. All the UT athletes are taking it. They're taking the Super Beets sports powder, which I also take about 30 minutes before I go out to play tennis or work out. The turmeric chews, which is great for anti-inflammation. And look, I just say go to Humann with 2 N's.com/TSU and load up. Load up on the Super Beets, load up on the turmeric chews. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel better. Your body's going to feel better. Your blood pressure is going to respond better. And your brain fog is going to go away. So load up. Humann with 2 N's.com/TSU. and use promo code TSU. You'll get an extra 20% off your first order. So load up. You got nothing to lose because there's a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you're not happy, you're not feeling it, then you return it. Get your money back. It's a beautiful thing. And for my guys who are snoring, hey, it's more than just annoying to the person sleeping next to you. It could be the sign of a serious health issue called sleep apnea, which is a lack of oxygen while you sleep. And we've got this great partnership with Texas Sports Unfiltered and the Sleep Cycle Center, founded by Dr. Chad Denman, who has dedicated his life to treating sleep apnea because it killed his own father at the age of 60. And it's right here in Austin, 2 locations in Lakeway at the Arboretum. And because of our incredible partnership, all you have to do is go to sleepcyclecenters.com. Tell them Texas Sports Unfiltered sent you. They're going to take $100 off your sleep study. That sleep study is everything. And Dr. Chad has the best technology to detect your level of sleep apnea and the best treatment options, including oral appliances like I have, a mouth guard that holds my lower jaw open when I sleep so I get that oxygen, get that deep sleep. I wake up rested. Like if you're waking up in the night, that's not good. But don't take my word for it. Just go to sleepcyclecenters.com. Tell them Texas Sports Unfiltered sent you, and they're going to take $100 off your sleep study. Take care of yourself. All right, Zay. I'm looking at this. We got Texas basketball tonight.
Yeah, I went back and listened to Sean Miller's presser, and he's really all in on Jordan Pope being the point guard of this team.
That scares me.
That scares me too. It's confusing. And we talked about it yesterday, and I told y'all I would rather have Trayvon Mark be that guy, and thought that Trayvon Mark should have had more of a chance to be the point guard after the Duke game. Like, you can't look at the Duke game as just the final say of what your lineups and the responsibilities of your players should be. So for him to be just so enthusiastic about Jordan Pope, and that's what's confusing shit, because the things that he said, they don't match. He's like, I let Jordan know this is how he has to be when it comes to running the team. You got to be locked in. You got to get everybody involved. Your mental space has to be there. You got to be positive. You got to be there for your teammates. Everything that cliche you would think of when it comes to explaining the point guard's duties. But then he goes and says Jordan Pope is one of the best shooters in the SEC. So if you believe that, which I don't think that's true, but hey, you're his coach. You're supposed to think that. You're supposed to ignite confidence in your players. I get that. But also I'm like, okay, so if you think he's one of the best shooters in the SEC, then why are you giving him all this responsibility as a point guard? Because I don't think he's good enough to do both. Not everybody could do both. Like, especially at the college level, not everybody's Kemba Walker. When you remember Kemba just taking over March Madness for UConn and just dominating as a 5'11" player. Not everybody has that in their bag. So you got to find, just the good, the pros and the cons with each player you have. And you just got to try to put that out there to the best of its ability. And I don't know if that's what that is for Jordan Pope. If what I'm hearing from Sean Miller, that's all I'm saying. Like, I just don't know how you could expect him to do both, be a knockdown elite shooter, but also be the guy that has all these point guard responsibilities. That's a lot for the caliber player Jordan Pope is. And I'm sure Jordan Pope's a competitor. He's going to take that on, but I don't know. We'll see.
Part of this is that Jordan Pope has 11 assists and 1 turnover through 4 games. But he didn't have a single assist in the win over Kansas City. So Jordan Pope, he'll shoot you into a game, he'll shoot you out of a game. They struggled with Kansas City in part because, I mean, he wasn't the only one who struggled. He was 1 of 11 shooting. Tremont Mark was 2 of 9. Kendall Weaver was off. But I don't know. I mean, Sameen Wilcher, I think you and I both feel like he, could emerge as the point guard. He's got 6 assists and 6 turnovers through 4 games.
Yeah.
And he's also got 3 steals. He's shooting it better than Jordan Pope. Like Sean Miller's saying that Jordan Pope's one of the best shooters in the SEC. That's him manifesting that. Because Jordan Pope's shooting 27.5% from 2 and 27.3% from 3. That ain't one of the best shooters in the SEC.
That's what I mean. And then, to what my man Chan's saying, appreciate you, Chan, on the Coda text line. Hit us up, 512-222-9328. He's a liability on defense, too. He's not a lockdown defender. He's undersized. He doesn't have long arms. He doesn't have Kendall Weaver athleticism. So I don't know, man. He is a good player you could bring off the bench, but to give him the keys of the whip and say, drive this for the whole squad, that's a lot. That's a lot. And I don't know. I don't know. I got to see more. Because 11 assists in 4 games, that ain't getting me out my seat. That's okay. He's not turning the ball over. I would hope not. You're playing against tomato cans and rump roast these last few games. I would hope you're not turning the ball over. It's not like the pressure is intense. Come on. So again, Sean Miller, I know he has a vision. I know he's trying to just give these guys confidence, and this is only year 1, but you just mentioned Simeon Wilcher. I still think Tremont Mark is a good point guard at times. I still think Dalen Swain, depending on the situation, is a good point guard at times. I know on the break, you want Dalen Swain to catch it on the break where he can attack. Him and Kendall Weaver, Sean Miller talked about that yesterday. But when you get in a half-court game and there's 10 seconds left on the shot clock, I want the ball in number 3's hands more than anyone else. Him or Tremont Mark, both of those guys. Jordan Pope's next after that. If he's on the floor, I'm sure most Longhorn fans would want that with what they've seen out of the first few games. Dalen Swain, ball in his hands, cool. Tremont Mark, ball in his hands, cool. And then Jordan Pope, you could get the ball in your hands and we could do something with that. But to what I'm trying to explain here, I think Jordan Pope at his peak is a better shooter than Swain and Mark from the perimeter, meaning he needs guys to create for him. Dalen Swain can create for Jordan Pope. I don't think Jordan Pope can create for Dalen Swain. Tremont Mark can create for Jordan Pope. I don't think Jordan Pope can create for Tremont Mark. So that's where I'm confused on him being the point guard. And Sean Miller also said, we got a lot of guys that can orchestrate an offense, which is true. When it's a defensive rebound, unless it's in the big's hands, if a guard rebounds the ball, there's no outlet pass. You have the green light to push it and ignite the fast break. But in the half-court game, guys need to have roles because you're not always going to be able to get up and down the court. And if this team isn't a good three-point shooting team, which doesn't fit Sean Miller's style of play at all, you're going to have to find easy baskets, whether that's the free throw line, which you have to make those, are getting the ball to your big 7-footer out of Lithuania and have him go to work down there on the block. But right now, it's still very early. Sean Miller's still testing out these lineups and stuff. But, yeah, I definitely have my concerns.
Yeah, Texas has been to the free throw line 114 times. They're only hitting 65.8%. That is 15th of 16 in the SEC right now through 4 games. That's concerning because they don't shoot it that well. Texas is 13th of 16 in the SEC in field goal percentage, and they are 14th of 16 in 3-point field goal percentage. Can my man Cam Heide get a look?
Yeah. And his only 3 came from like the ridiculous pass from Trayvon Mark, where he like threw it behind his head, which was a perfect pass. Like, that's what I mean, create. Like Trayvon Mark, Jordan Pope ain't doing that. And I'm not trying to dog Jordan Pope. I'm really not trying to do that. I think he could be productive. I talked about it last year with Rodney Terry's team. He was out of place a lot last year. He is a point guard size player, a shooting guard and a point guard size body. That's what he is. And that's tough. That's tough to just deal with because you're undersized and you're limited. Like, he's not going to get to the rack. He doesn't have crazy quickness or crazy TJ Ford like speed that's going to give him an advantage. He doesn't have Max Asmus range. Like, Max Asmus was a little smaller than Jordan Pope, but Max Asmus range was almost towards half court. So that made him such a threat. Jordan Pope doesn't have that. And Max Asmus could shoot off the dribble and he could throw up crazy floaters. You know, Jordan Pope doesn't have that. So you got to put him in places where he's comfortable. And I think sometimes that's off ball with guys like Swain creating for him, when guys like Mark creating for him. When you throw it down to Mathis and he gets double teamed, Jordan Pope, he should thrive in those situations. Find him, because now he has catch and shoot inside out game. That's where shooters want it. They want the ball to go in the paint or in the middle so they can get the ball on the perimeter. They're kind of like when you shoot by yourself or have somebody rebounding for you. Where do they pass it from? By the goal, in the paint. That's what we're accustomed to as shooters. So that's where he needs to be taking his shots from. But yeah, when he's shooting off the dribble and he has to create for himself, Texas could be in trouble in those situations.
Yeah. Tonight, they're taking on Ryder.
Yeah.
What's that do for you?
The girls are bad free throw shooters too. Yeah. They haven't been good on the free throw line either, which that really concerns me. Because I expect Texas men's basketball to be relevant, but I'm not giving them national championship or bust, goals. I'm doing that for the women's team. They can't lose games because free throws are the thing. They're too aggressive. They attack too much. They have to make their free throws. Brianna Preston, Rory Harmon, Madison Booker, like Kyla Oldegger is going to have to be locked in because she's going to get fouled all the time. She'll probably lead the team in free throws. I'm sure she did last year, either her or Madison Booker. So they have to knock those free throws down because they don't have many weaknesses, if any. If I had to pick one, that might be it. But yeah, a lot of basketball to be played. They got UCLA next week, go against Lauren Betts, arguably the best big in all of women's college basketball. That's going to be their first true road test. But Brianna Preston, I think she's going to be a star. Like you said, she reminds you of TJ Ford. I don't know who she reminds me of, but like if you look at her, she has insanely long arms for her size. I don't think she knows how quick she is. and how like athletic she is. Because she had a finish the other night. I forget Texas Southern who they played. She drove and like she went coast to coast and she's just weaving through traffic and she took on a bump, which a lot of girls probably wouldn't even got the ball up in this play. She took a bump and went flying and still had the presence of mind to finish the and one. And I don't think there's anybody on this Texas team that could do that. Not even Madison Booker. Like she has another gear. And when she figures it out, if she could get a jump shot, yo, it's a wrap. Like I'm playing her and Rory as much as I can right now, just because you just never know. Like they're so deep with Aaliyah Crump and Jordan Lee. But there's something about Rory and Brianna Preston in the game at the same time where opposing offenses, they don't know what to do because the pressure is just so intense. It's hard to dribble. Like you might have one ball handler on the court, but if Rory's guarding her, then you got a weak link being guarded by Brianna Preston. And then if Madison Booker becomes more engaged defensively, which she has been, and Aaliyah Crump could get it together, like Jordan Lee, she's locked in defensively. You don't got to worry about her. But the lineups that you're seeing with Vic Schaefer, then when Ashton Judd comes back, man, it's natty or bust. Like I love this women's basketball team. They are so talented. Brea Cunningham, she might be the only question mark I have. Because I just don't know with her yet because she's trying to figure out her role in Vic Schaefer's system, which it's difficult for a center, for a 5, position big, because he's asking all of his players to play full court man-to-man defense. And if you're a big, that's hard, playing full court. So she has to get used to that. You got to be in crazy shape. And then she has to get used to the offensive side of playing off of Rory and Madison Booker and Jordan Lee. And that's kind of coming along a lot slower too. So she's replacing Taylor Jones, who was great last year. That's a lot. Vic wants to bring Kyla Oldegger off the bench. I'm eager to see how that works against Lauren Betts and UCLA next Wednesday. Like, I'm very curious to see how Brea Cunningham, who has played against Lauren Betts multiple times, coming from Arizona. So, well, maybe not, because UCLA is in the Big Ten. So never mind. Maybe she hasn't. I don't know. But I want to see that matchup, because if I had to pick out one weak spot for Texas, which I'm bitching from a yacht here, it's Brea Cunningham and just her figuring out her role on this ball club.
Yeah, I mean, I think Vic likes the fact that he's got Kyla Oldacre and Brea Cunningham, Kyla 6'6", Brea Cunningham 6'4", like Taylor Jones. So he's got 10 fouls right there to put on Lauren Betts. And let's see how he defends her, because I like what I'm seeing from Jordan Lee and Brianna Preston. I asked Vic today about Jordan Lee. He's like, well, she'd be one of our top 2 most improved players. I said, okay, well, who are the other 2? And he said Brianna Preston and Madison Booker. He said Booker just keeps getting better. It's like she just works and works and works. So
yeah, her deal is just stop committing dumb fouls.
Yeah.
That's her only problem. Other than that, she has no weaknesses. It's her committing dumb fouls, either being too overly aggressive defensively, going for steals and trying to stick her hand in the cookie jar when that thing is closed, or offensively, she loves that Kevin Durant slight bump with the shoulder where it gets you off balance and then you could go into your fadeaway. She loves that move. And now teams know that in the scouting report. And they were telling that girl from Texas Southern, anytime she bumps into you, flop your ass off. She got called for 2 charges on that play. And she was mad. Madison Booker was pissed, where I don't know who had to like kind of hold her back from getting after the ref, but it was a good call. Like, if you're going to lower your shoulder like that and they know you're going to do that, you got to be careful. Like, these teams, they want to get you on the bench because that increases their chances to win. So, yeah, teams are going to flop. And even though sometimes it might be exaggerated and dramatic and a bad call, it's worth the risk on a player like Madison Booker. So, yeah, I'm sure, you know, Blair Schaefer, Coach Lovato, they were getting on her for that, and they'll clean that up. But, yeah, Madison Booker, now that she's playing the power forward spot, she's a mismatch nightmare. Like, what power forward do you want to put on her? Like, if you're a coach on the opposing team, you're going to have to reshuffle your lineup because she's just too quick for 4s. So if you put a 3 on her, she's too big for 3s, and now you're out of position guarding the other 3 guards for Texas because most likely you put your power forward on the bench, or if you left your power forward in the game, they're guarding Aaliyah Crump and Jordan Lee now, so they got to chase them around. So I like her at the power forward spot. I think it's a good move for Vic Schaefer and this team, and yeah, national championship or bust.
Skull. All right, let's get a couple mentions in here and we'll get to the commentary. Hey, when you're ready for the big screen of your dreams, there's only one call to make in Austin, Texas for that big screen, that new media room, that new man cave. That is Audiovisual Consultations and our man, Tom McKay, who's been the best in the business in Austin for 37 years. He's put big screens and surround sound in 3 different houses for me. And he can do it for you too. All you got to do is call 255-8678. That's 255-8678. He's going to bring you the best price on big screens. So you don't need to be, looking for Black Friday specials, lugging 80, 100-inch TVs around town. No, just call 255-8678. Tom and his crew will bring everything to you. They can also handle, surveillance, electronic shades, new lighting. Yeah, so just call 255-8678 or visit avconsultations.com. And, hey, cover 3. Cover 3. How about some high-end food without the high-end prices? I mean, happy hour every day from 3:30 to 6:30, 3:30 to close on Mondays. And you got the $7 social hour menu during happy hour with the firecracker shrimp, the bacon deviled eggs, the big chicken slider. Oh, man. Let me have some of those Parmesan fries, that Chop House burger. Oh, man. I'm hungry right now. Let's go over to Cover 3 Anderson, Cover 3 Round Rock. And don't forget, brunch on the weekends. How about taking your special someone out for a nice brunch at Cover 3, the breakfast quesadilla, the do-it-yourself Bloody Mary bar. You're all set up for all the games on Saturday or Sunday. Yeah. Cover 3 Anderson, Cover 3 Round Rock. All right, for the chip shot today, I got to start off by giving my wife a shout out. She won the women's doubles championship at Great Hills, and she won the pickleball ladder last night.
Damn.
I'm like, damn, baby. Take mercy. And she beat 3 dudes in the pickleball ladder.
Amazing.
So, yeah, she's on fire. She and I are about to get cooking in the mixed doubles. So
you mean she about to get cooking and you about to jump on her back?
That's right.
Yo, I love how you flex there. I'm glad you admit it. Right. I'm glad you admit it. Yeah.
Hey, love.
She's Jordan, you're Pippen. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
You're Pippen.
I can live with that.
You can live with that.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
I can live with that. I don't care who gets the credit as long as we bring home the hardware. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing.
That's amazing. Congrats to her.
Congrats to the adorable L-Bell. And did I tell you we got a new dog?
Yeah, I saw on social media.
So, little Yorkie, OLIPOP. You know what I mean? Little OLIPOP.
For Ollie.
But he's a riot, man. He's running around, just pooping and peeing and doing his thing.
Oh, God.
We're getting him all trained up. It's like having a kid again. You know what I'm saying? But
don't miss those days.
How's Champ doing?
He's chilling. Just looking at him, laying down, cooling. He's a good boy.
Cooling. Yeah.
Kinda.
Anthony Hill, some good news. He will not require surgery on that fractured fifth metatarsal. So the bone right here is fractured, but it didn't come through the skin. So that's good because and the fact that he doesn't need surgery means that they can kind of massage it and reset it. But yeah, I don't know if he's going to play Saturday against Arkansas or not. My gut instinct is probably not, but that he could be back for Texas A&M, which would be a plus. So we will keep tabs on that situation.
What's it called again?
The boxer's fracture. Because it's like, you know, when you hit a hard surface and it causes that bone to crack, that fifth metatarsal, because it's the thinnest of your metatarsals. So I'm not exactly sure how it happened, but Anthony Hill's a tough dude. So Soul Scream says he got that punching a fridge once.
Yo, hell no.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Hold on, no. I'm gonna need the background story. I'm gonna need what happened. So you guys,
what set that off?
What set that
off?
Was it
the Longhorns? Was it the Longhorns penalties?
Yeah.
This season, when did that happen? When did the old fridge punch happen?
I mean, as a Texas fan, it could have happened a lot of times, from Michael Crabtree scoring at the end. You know what I'm saying? Colt getting hurt. Yeah. It's a lot. Bad day at work. That's the worst. Just a bad day at work, man. Yeah. That's tough. Yeah, it says Joe Frazier had that injury back in the day.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson had it too, one point in time. I don't know how long it kept him out. But that's a basketball player, so you really need your hands there.
Yeah. We got Brant for Liberty says, I got mine falling and punching the ground to catch myself on stone steps.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
why are y'all punching fridges, man?
That's like a football player punching another football player with his helmet on.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all got to do the crazy shadow box that Cuba Gooding did on Boys in the Hood. You remember that? Before he went and when he came home to Nia Long, and he was like, I can't stand these cops, man. No. Y'all got to do that where y'all aren't hitting nothing.
Power slap.
Yeah. Just trying to give some advice here. I don't know it all, but punching the fridge, maybe not the best thing to do.
Yeah. You'll offer up some suggestions.
Yeah, I've never punched a fridge before. I've never been that mad. I hope I have a lot of life to live, but I also hope I never get that mad to where that part of my brain says, yo, Zay, punch the hell out of something that's hard as hell. You're tough. You feel that adrenaline going, you know?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair.
Brand for Liberty says his hand will actually be stronger after the healing. Okay. All right. That's good. We don't want any. What you laughing at?
I'm just these guys, man. I hope y'all are getting help. That's all. I hope y'all are getting help. Just get some help.
All right. Let's get to the right call. You can offer up some help in the right call.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Before that, though, shout out to Covert Bee Cave. I was at Covert Bee Cave today, getting an oil change. They were getting me right. It was smooth, talking to the fellas. I just started walking around, talking to people, and everybody's cool, doing their thing. Got me in, got me out, on with my life. And hey, y'all could be like us too. Get yourself a Covert BK vehicle, new, pre-owned. It doesn't matter. They are the best in the business, and they will take care of you. It's not about making that sale. It's not about making that quota. They will work at your pace. They will answer any question that you have. You worried about your budget? Well, they will work with you with that to find the car of your dreams for the next 10 years or so. So go to covertbk.com. See all the latest specials and inventory. Nobody beats a Covert deal. Not now, not ever. All right, Chip. So piggyback off of the right call yesterday. We talked about Draymond Green getting into it with the fan who called him a woman. Apparently, he wasn't just calling him a woman.
He's calling him Angel Reese.
Calling him Angel Reese. Which is even worse for Draymond to get upset because, in a way, that should be a compliment. Like, Angel Reese is pretty successful, if you ask me. I get it. She has her haters, but I feel like people love Angel Reese more than they love Draymond Green. Now, that's subjective, but I'm just going to go on a limb here and say that. So if somebody calls me that, which Angel Reese, it's not like she's a scrub either. Angel Reese could play. And she got a lot better at making layups this season than she did her rookie year. Now, did she kind of get herself into trouble by letting the organization know at Chicago Sky that we need better players and they suspended her for it? Yeah, she probably shouldn't have said it like that, being on the same current team with those current players that she was with, that she was saying they need to replace. But she's the franchise player. Speak up. She's just letting them know, hey, I'm about ball. I know y'all see the Birkin bags. I know y'all see her walking down Victoria's Secret, catwalking and stuff. I know she looks good, but she's about ball. And she had to let Chicago Sky know, y'all BSing around. Let's get some players here so we can win up in this thing. So if you're Draymond Green and somebody calls you Angel Reese, let that roll off your back, man. Let it roll. That's not a big deal. Soft as Charmin, Angel Reese. Okay, she's a hell of a basketball player. I don't see any disrespect there. I don't know. But Draymond, it doesn't look good that that's what set you off. But to his defense, a lot of things set him off. So who knows?
Hey, man, just ignore it.
He can't do it.
Just ignore it.
He can't do it. For some reason.
Nothing works better than acting like you can't even hear some fool coming at you.
Right?
It's like yeah, man, you just act like I don't even know you're there.
Yeah.
Come on, Draymond.
Come on, Draymond. Come on. Meg the Stallion dropped her song about Klay Thompson a couple of weeks ago, and the video's about to come out. We don't got that, but the song is called Lover Girl. Meg says this is the first song she's ever made about a man. And this goes to my next point. I don't know how we could expect Klay Thompson to have a good year with all that. There's just too much love. We love love. We love love, but she's making songs now, Chip. Klay ain't shooting well. They're
Let's see how Klay's doing.
It's bad. It's bad. And I say that in the best way. I say it's bad for Mavs fans because Mavs fans, my man's in love. He's never been like this before. She's never been like this before. If she's making songs about somebody, it's serious. He's picking her up from the airport. They posted a pic weeks ago. It's called Lover Girl, Chan. Lover Girl. That's what the song's called. You know, he picked her up from the airport. She posted a pic of them holding the keys in front of the house. So now they live together, got a mortgage together. It's beautiful, man. Like, if I'm playing, I know he's stealing money. And again, this is Meg Thee Stallion. She's got her own, but as a man, you want to be able to take care of your woman to some sort of extent, whether that's buy her some materialistic things or, you know, Klay gonna keep stealing money. He gonna keep stealing money. He has to. He gonna keep, because it's the easiest money he gonna get, you know? Because now the Mavs are gonna start playing them less and less. So that money's just gonna be easier and easier by the minute. And Klay's gonna say, oh yeah, you know, I hate that I'm not playing well. But how bad can you really hate it though? When Meg Thee Stallion's at home waiting for you.
But in one of the Mavs' few wins this year, he scored 19 on 7 of 16 shooting.
That's big.
Against Portland in overtime.
That is
on
big.
Sunday.
That's
big. He was 5 of 11, 5 of 11 from 3 in that game. Let's go.
A home game? Home game or away game?
It was a home game.
That's huge. She must have been out of town.
Home game.
She must have been out of town.
And then he went on the road to Minnesota and he was 3 of 9 and 1 of 6.
Yeah.
With two steals, and he scored 7 points in 17 minutes.
Yeah, 17 minutes, man. Klay used to get like 35 a game back in the Warriors days. It's tough. It's tough. But he has more energy for her now, so
hey now.
I can't be mad at it. I can't be mad at it. Okay, I don't know how I missed this story. This is insane. So a month ago or so, Florida A&M, HBCU, they were playing Alabama State, also at HBCU. Alabama State, they have a dance team called the Honeybees. Now, what makes the Honeybees very specific is they're a more, how do I say this without getting canceled? Voluptuous group of women. Some would say plus size group. So the Honeybees performed at Florida A&M, and the PA announcer from Florida A&M thought saying this was appropriate.
Congratulate them. They're now the new face of Ozempic.
Ouch.
Congratulations to the Honeybees. They're the new face of Ozempic. Yo, man, that dude needs to be fired. He should never call a game again. I understand there's rivalries. Florida A&M, Alabama State. I don't know if it's a rivalry, but clearly they're competitive. They're prideful of their schools. And you know, HBCU's Battle of the Bands, like you've seen Drumline, Nick Cannon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It gets intense. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's intense.
It's intense. They were fighting on the field when the dude was drumming on Nick Cannon's drum and he was drumming on the other dude's drum and it started a fight. It could get intense. But, yo, to call the Honeybees and say that they're the spokesperson for Ozempic. Come on, man. Come on.
By the way, Alabama State, if this is the game that was played on September 27th, Alabama State won it 42-14.
Yeah, that was that game. I don't know how I missed it. I should have talked about it then because it didn't go as viral as it could have, but it's HBCUs. Not many people were at the game, but damn. All right, great show, my friend. Let's bring in Matt, Patrick, the fellas at Open Gym. What's happening, fellas?
What's going on?
What up, guys?
I'm just being depressed seeing another injury on the Spurs right now. Don't like it.
Who's hurt now?
Steph Castle's out for a week or two with a hip flexor, so they're going to reevaluate him in a week or two. Wimby is reevaluated in 2 weeks with his calf strain. So not great. Not great to begin the season. It was starting off pretty good, hit a couple road bumps, but now Dylan Harper, Steph Castle, and Wimby all out.
Gulp.
It's a marathon.
It's a marathon. Hey,
Yes.
it's only 2 weeks. You'll be back. They'll be back before Christmas, probably all of them. So you still got plenty of season, but disappointing with how good the start of the season was.
Yeah.
But hey, you got Texas and Ryder tonight.
Oh.
Texas and Ryder. Anybody know the nickname of the Ryder? By the way, anybody?
Spiders. The Ryder Spiders.
No. Ryder Bronx, I believe. The Ryder Bronx. That's what I saw.
Right. It is the Ryder Bronx.
The Ryder Bronx.
Couldn't just do Broncos.
Nope. Had to go with the Bronx. Is what they went with.
Where the hell is Ryder?
It's New Jersey.
Wow.
So what are we talking about? Bronx, Broncs, short for Broncos in New Jersey.
Well,
I don't know. There's a lot of horses out there.
Yeah, we just played Kansas City, and they were the Roos, which I don't know about a lot of kangaroos in Kansas City either. So
yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point.
But this is the last warm up before Maui. So big game tonight.
Oh yeah.
Chip.
Maui, we gotta
Chip, Zay, real quick question before you guys get off. Is Arch Manning Texas's offensive MVP this year?
Oh. Might
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
says a lot, I think. Says a lot.
It does.
Jeez, Matt. I didn't expect that. Yeah. Damn. Yeah. Well, way to depress me on my way out, fellas. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys later.
You're welcome, Zay.
See you guys. Welcome into Open Gym here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. Myself, Patrick Davis, alongside Matt Galatzan of Texas Longhorns on SI. And, of course, you, the third member of Open Gym. Text line's open 512-222-9328. And, of course, on the chat there, Facebook, Twitch, X, and on YouTube. A lot to get into today as we continue breaking down the disappointing loss to Georgia, what it means now for Texas, what do they do going forward? You still have Arkansas coming up on Saturday. You have A&M coming up in 2 weeks. So still plenty to look forward to. I have seen more doom and gloom. I have seen some unnamed people trying to profit off of the doom and gloom. I've seen the people who continue, and this is not just Texas. I've seen this across that pretty much everyone who is not Ohio State or Indiana or maybe even Georgia, but Georgia earlier in the season, they wanted to put Kirby on the hot seat. That every team is just like, let's all fire coaches every season and start over. If we do not win a national championship, it is time to fire our coach. And I don't think that's the majority of people, but there is a loud minority every year who come out for everywhere and just are like, nope, sorry, we're national champion or go. Like, that seems like a bad way to try and run a franchise long term.
Yeah. I mean, how many teams have won a national championship in the college football playoff era?
Not a lot.
Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, and Michigan, I think, are and LSU. So 6 teams in the last 12 years.
And one of them cheated.
And one of them cheated.
I mean, maybe multiple. At least one of them cheated.
Just saying, it's not as easy as everybody thinks it is.
No.
And how many head coaches have won a national title? 4.
But yeah, I mean, that's a thought of why Ed Orgeron or Jimbo Fisher could be getting jobs again, is because then they would fit into the ranks of national championship head coaches that would be back in the well, they wanted, like, there's no one who's won a national championship. That's why Dabo can probably get another job.
Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, Dabo Swinney, Ed Orgeron, Ryan Day, Jim Harbaugh. So 6. But if you don't win a national championship, you're fired, buddy.
Nope, you're out of here. One bad season and it's over. Before we get too far into it, I was going to tell a happy story to start the show, even though we started sad. I'm telling a weird, funny story from last week that I forgot to tell, Matt. This happened Thursday night of last week. Is I went after the show. I go over to my buddy's house. He has a nice patio with a TV on it. We sit in the backyard. We watch sports. And so I go over to his house. We're sitting in the back patio watching sports. And when I get there, he's like, hey, man, just come through the gate because they have a daughter and she's starting to escape out the front door now. They do not keep it deadbolted. You know how kids will do. They'll just be like, oh, the door. And they just go. So he's like, just come around the gate. Because then she can't, just be in the house and run away. So I come through the gate and we just leave the gate door open. And while we're sitting back there a little bit later, his wife's like, hey, what's that? And we're like, oh, I don't know. And then we turn around, it's a dog. It's in the backyard. And we're like, what? And it's a nice dog and we're like, oh, he's got a collar on. So we see his collar. It has his name, the phone number, and then it says on the bottom, I get lost a lot. Like, okay. So we get it, and then I call the number, and it goes straight to voicemail. And I'm like, this is not good. Like, this is not good. I don't know if this guy lives around here or if this is, maybe he is not in a home right now, and then that's why he doesn't have a phone that works. And then I get a text back like a couple minutes later from the guy, and he's like, oh, I can't talk right now. But he's like, what's it? And I'm like, hey, we have your dog. And he's like, I'm not home. He's like, well, can you get someone to come get your dog? So it takes a while, and then he finally gets his roommate, who apparently was the guy who left the dog out, to come over to the house to get the dog. The guy shows up, and we believe he said at some point, sorry, I've been up for 3 days, which we're like, okay, man. That's a weird thing to tell people that you don't know. And then he was just kind of hanging out because we're sitting drinking beers on the patio, and I think he sees that, and he's like, oh, a hangout. We're like, dude, we don't know you. We're not hanging. Take the dog. Like, we got the dog, but this is the best part of it, Matt. So the guy finally leaves, takes the dog. I get this text back from the guy whose dog it was, explaining about how much this dog gets lost. And I thought it was insane, and I love it. This is what the text says. One time someone was tubing with their kids on Lake Buchanan, like a solid half mile or more from the shore, and Boone, which is the dog's name, had snuck off like he does from time to time. So I've been looking for an hour. Anyways, I get this call, and they're on their boat tubing. They say they saw him out in the main lake swimming and picked him up and brought him back to the marina. He then goes on to tell another story. Says another time he went into someone's house through a dog door. They freaked out and chased him out of the house, and the guy was drunk and got mad and went out with his gun and shot at Boone 3 times, close range at night, and Boone dodged all 3 bullets. And the guy was like, your dog's supposed to be alive, and I'm sorry for doing that. I never miss with that gun. So apparently now get to be part of this crazy dog and his just escape artist, and then come hang out with somebody else. But yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a dog get away and then go through somebody else's dog door. That is a dangerous thing to do for a dog.
Here's an idea. Don't let the dog out without supervision.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. Don't let the dog around. Don't shoot
a dog.
No, don't shoot it. I'm aware. Don't shoot at dogs. I'm very aware of that. Even if he comes into your house, just get him out. You don't got to shoot him.
Yeah,
he's a dog.
He's a dog. He's a nice. Apparently, it sounds like a very nice dog.
Yes, a very nice dog. So it was. But yes, that was my fun of Thursday night, sitting on a patio and then getting to rescue a dog and then get a crazy story out of it. Of a guy who apparently his dog was been shot at 3 times at close range, and he couldn't hit him. Like, what nonsense? And who tells you that after the fact? Like, once you return the dog back, I tried to kill him. It's such a weird thing to tell somebody. So that one's for Boone, the dog, who was just running around, just coming backyard, just came back there with the ball. He's like, hey, what's up?
Friend of the show, Boone.
Friend of the show. So we had all of that fun. Yeah, crazy dog that we got to see. Let's today's show, I do want to get into a couple of different pieces of Matt's All 22. We'll go if we have some times more Sark audio. We do have an Overreactions Tuesday as well coming up. We'll get to some other games. But I did want to bring up, because I keep seeing stuff about it at the end of the day, about Lane Kiffin and the deadline that is being placed. And I just wanted to get your opinion on it, Matt, of the deadline that is now being placed and the rumors, and depending on what people believe is going to be happening with Lane Kiffin at the end of this season. And does Ole Miss really have the ground to stand on that if he doesn't sign an extension by then, they're like, okay, you're gone? Like, it seems like, I get you want to have your words because you have to go. We have to find a coach if you leave, and we don't want to get stuck with it. So I understand their concern and saying you cannot wait until you finish the season in the playoffs and it's past the transfer portal and it's past everything else and you just walk away. You cannot do that to us. We've been very good to you. We've given everything you asked for. You cannot do that to us. So let us know. And honestly, I think the good part of it is Ole Miss saying, if you're going to walk away, that's fine. We get it. We appreciate your time. Just please tell us.
Yeah. I don't think that actually happened.
You don't think there is a deadline?
No. I mean, Lane Kiffin came out on Pat McAfee today and said it wasn't true. I don't think that's true. He was in yoga class this morning with the athletic director. So I don't think that happened. Guess who reported that, by the way?
Oh, was it Diana Rossini?
Well, no, but it was the Athletic.
Oh, it's the Athletic, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, first of all, I don't believe that happened. Second of all, I totally understand the idea of, hey, just tell us if you're going to leave so that we can try and figure something out. I still don't think he's going to leave. I know that he allegedly visited Baton Rouge and Gainesville and all this stuff. I would appreciate it if he would come out and just say, I'm not leaving. In fact, I was sitting there with Brooks on Friday night talking about how I thought he was going to do it. And I thought he was going to beat Florida by more than I thought by more than they actually beat them by. But I thought they were going to beat Florida, and that he was going to take a microphone, go out to midfield, and do the Jordan Belfort from Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not fucking leaving. Everybody's like, ah, like that seemed very Lane Kiffin to me. Either that, or he was going to say it in the press conference after the game, and Keith was going to walk up to the athletic director, was going to walk up to the podium with a contract, and he was going to sign it right there. But I don't think that happened. I don't think he's going to leave. I don't think that LSU and Florida are places that he actually wants to be. I think that if anything, he's just kind of looking at his options and like, okay, trying to make the decision, is Ole Miss really the place that I want to be long-term for the rest of my career? And
yeah, and I think there's also a thought you're always going to have I reached my pinnacle here? And do I need a change of scenery? So I get the reasons.
But here's another reason why I don't think he's going to leave. And I heard, I think it was Peter Burns. It might have been somebody else. The actual person's escaping me, but I saw it today on social media. There was a moment after Ole Miss beat Florida where the entire stadium is sitting there chanting, "We want Lane. We want Lane." And I think that given his entire career and the complete 180 that he's turned since his days at USC and the Raiders and Tennessee and all that stuff, that was a full circle moment for him, where he's finally ascended to this place where his career has come full circle. He's wanted and embraced by the fan base, and I don't think he's going to get that anywhere else he goes.
No, I'm with you.
So I think that at the end of the day, that's the reason he's going to stay, is because he knows that Ole Miss is where he's supposed to be, and that's who really, really, truly wants him. The fan base has accepted him, and that's all he's ever wanted his entire career. Like, I think that moment could be more special to him than winning a national championship.
Well, I think there's plenty of reasons why he'd want to leave, or why he'd want to go to Florida, or why he'd want to go to LSU. I think there's plenty of reasons. I think they're viable things that he has to, or else he would have just already said, like, why would I go? Like, there are actual things he has to think about where he could make the decision. Neither one of us is in Lane Kiffin's brain, so we don't know what he's actually thinking. And he is a type of guy where you definitely aren't going to know what he's thinking until he tells you. And even when he tells you, you're not sure he's telling the truth. But, I think that there is the old school thought of, those are the better jobs. And, if you ever get a chance to go take that job, like, again, if he wasn't at Ole Miss, he would be ecstatic to get either one of those job offers.
Mm-hmm.
But he is currently at a place that he enjoys. So that's the question is, do you want to upset the apple cart because you believe it's a better opportunity, or you believe you will be happier there? But I do think it's interesting. I do think he does need to tell Ole Miss at some point, because it is, I mean, you're talking about, but the transfer portal's in January 15th now or something like that. It's something early January. So, before the transfer portal, they have to know. So that's still a ways out, but they have to know whether you're going to be the guy next year, because you're talking about looking at what staff you're going to have and where your staff is. You've already talked about a lot of that staff's going to be leaving probably and taking other jobs. So, what are you going to be able to build in the back end of that is kind of the question I have more for, you have an important offseason to get into for Ole Miss to continue to compete in the SEC. We see right now at Texas what a offseason that wasn't necessarily perfectly handled can do. It's a very competitive conference. And in the fact that, and again, this is one of the points when I know, because I saw the quote from Sark in year one saying if he was a 3 or 4 loss team in year 4, then we'd have to have more concerns, which I get is justifiable. It's his own words. I do think there's one really bad loss this season and 2 losses to top 5 teams. Not excusing the loss of the top 5 teams, but I do think it's relevant in the discussion to say Sark has lost to Ohio State, who's still the number 1 ranked team in the country, and Georgia, who's a top 5 team. So, the Florida game is terrible, but if you had only lost to Ohio State and Georgia right now, you'd be like, we're worried Sark is not, winning the big games, and we got to figure out that. But I don't think the narrative's anywhere close to the same as a 3-loss team that's not in the playoffs. I think those are different narratives. And so there's something to be said about it. Like, if he had beaten Georgia and then loses to Arkansas, isn't that worse? But I know I get the Georgia, you want to be able to compete. You want to be able to play with the big boys. You want to be able to have that. I fully get the frustration with it. But I think that's when we talk about that, we see what Sark's going through with 2 losses to top 5 teams and a loss to Florida. And there's some people that think not only should he be fired, he should not be allowed to be near the game of football ever again in his life. He's so bad at it. And then Lane Kiffin's like, well, you have a 3-loss season. Like, you almost did it, Lane. Good job. It seems like he's in a better place than where he's at if you go to LSU or if you go to Florida.
Yeah. Here's my thing, and I understand the Sark can't win the big game thing. Like, I really do. If you're 1-7 against top 5 teams, that's something that you got to look at. But who are those teams that he's 1-7 against? 4 of them or 5 of them are Ohio State and Georgia.
Yeah.
How many coaches have beaten Ryan Day and Kirby Smart over the last 5 years?
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh has beaten Ryan, and Dan
No,
Lanning has beaten Ryan Day once.
Yeah. No, that's the reality of it's always the who are you going to hire that is beating all these top 5 teams, because sometimes you go out, and I remember when they hired Tom Herman here, and the narrative was he can beat the big teams. And then he got here, and he wasn't beating anybody.
Right.
He was losing regular games.
And outside of Alabama over the last 5 years, there is two coaches that have beaten Kirby Smart. Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin and Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame. That's it. Over a 5-year period. And guess what? 3 of those losses happened in 1 year. It's like it's really hard to beat a top 5 team. I don't understand why that's so hard for people to grasp. It's not like, oh well, we're the Texas Longhorns, so we should, every top 5 team we play, we should beat every single time. That's not how it works. Top 5 teams are top 5 teams for a reason. It's really freaking hard to beat them because they're one of the 5 best teams in the country.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. So, but that's what I go with. The Lane Kiffin thing. He's at a place that it doesn't seem to be, at least from the outside perspective, as vitriolic towards any sort of, like, the goals just aren't, because I agree. The standard at Texas is you're supposed to be a playoff team. You're supposed to be competing for championships. That's what the standard, that's what people want it to be here at Texas. At Ole Miss, you want to be in the hunt. It just feels like it's a step behind, but the funding doesn't feel that far behind. Like, I don't think it's the same as Texas, but I don't think it's that far behind. I think there's decent money at Ole Miss right now.
Hell yeah, there is. I mean, they get a lot of dudes in the transfer portal.
Yeah. So if I'm looking at that and I go, well, I'm not losing the resources, but I also don't have to do this. So I do get a fair, why would I want to leave that to go to LSU where I don't know the money's there, or Florida where I don't know the money's there? I'll be told it's there, but I don't know until I'm there.
I will tell you one thing. If Quinshon Judkins hadn't run himself out of Ole Miss before last season, and that football team had Quinshon Judkins,
yeah, they
would have won the national championship. They had the best defense in the country. They had Jackson Dart, and their only weakness was that they couldn't run the football because they didn't have a running back. Yeah. So he was that close to winning a national championship. He might win this one this year. You never know. I mean, I don't necessarily think that Ole Miss can beat Ohio State, but I think they can beat Texas A&M, and I think they can beat Indiana, and I think they can beat Oregon, and they already proved that they could beat Georgia. They blew it at the very end. So he has an opportunity to win a national championship here. He doesn't need to, or at Ole Miss, he doesn't need to go to LSU or Florida, because he has everything that he needs and everything that he wants. So,
no, I'm with you.
And as far as Texas fans wanting Lane Kiffin, like, okay, I don't think that that's necessarily any different than Steve Sarkisian, except it's probably a little looser in the locker room, I would imagine. Hell, I'd love if Lane Kiffin came to Texas, but only if Steve Sarkisian left for another job. I don't want you to fire Steve Sarkisian to hire Lane Kiffin. I think that would be a mistake.
Well, and this is also the deal. You cannot fire Sark right now. The buyout, I don't know what the buyout is. I guarantee it's too much money to pretend that you're going to buy it, fix this roster, and pay your, like, you just, that also you're like, well, do you really want to lose Arch Manning and then possibly KJ Lacey and possibly Diabell? Like, you lose all 3 of them because they all came to play with Sark. So I think that I don't really think I know Desmond Howard put it out there. I don't know if his thing was that, he said at the end of it's a mutual parting of the ways. I don't think that's anything real. I think that is more of I'll say this now, and then if it happens, I'm a genius. And if it doesn't, who cares? Like, it's a throwaway tweet.
Yeah, Desmond Howard doesn't know shit.
Yeah, he knows the same thing, which is teams are mentioning Sark in the NFL. That's what he knows. But that doesn't mean that Sark is necessarily calling them up. So,
yeah, I mean, like I see this in my mentions sometimes on Twitter. Like, we need to move on from Sark. No, absolutely not. Does he need to make some changes? Sure. But he is one of the 5 best coaches in college football. Just because he's having a hard time beating Kirby Smart does not make him a bad coach.
No, and we do not play Kirby Smart next year. So that's a positive. We do not play him unless we play in the championship game, and that's all there. But we're not playing him next year. I
don't care if Desmond and Sark have the same agent.
I think there is an agent. There's an agent in Sark's house that needs to be fired. I can tell you that much right now. There's somebody in there who is spreading a lot of information.
Well, okay, yes. But just because Desmond and Sark have the same agent doesn't mean that Jimmy Sexton is going to walk up to Desmond Howard and be like, "Oh, yo, you know what I heard?" No.
I look, I get all that. It's frustrating because we keep hearing these. And the other deal was he was like, "You didn't think LSU was going to lose their coach?" And I go, "Yeah, we did. Beginning of the season,
Everybody
I told you that they were they were bad and no one likes Brian Kelly. I told you that on this show, and I'm not very connected, and I knew that much about it.
I mean, it was very clear that if Brian Kelly struggled this year, he was going to be on the hot seat.
Yes. No. Okay. I appreciate the guys and the people in the chat being with us, that he's not going anywhere. I appreciate that.
Yes. Thank you.
No, but I agree with that, and that's why. But the entire point of this was to talk about Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin and the situation of why I do think they need to have an answer more than anything is because what one offseason of being unprepared because Texas was in the playoff and dealing with that transfer portal in the playoff, and then maybe not having the players available in the second transfer portal that they thought they could get, and they were a little bit behind the 8 ball because this happened before the draft as well, and you lost more players than maybe you thought you were going to lose. All of that put together just left them a little bit behind the 8 ball, where they're still a good football team, but they are not a playoff football team this season. And they had too many young guys. They didn't have enough experience, and that kind of all piles into it. And for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, they're right in that same spot. It's just a question of how much is there. Oh, the Twitter conspiracy there is why would Sark go to Tennessee over Tech? I don't get that one.
And why would Tennessee move on from Josh Heupel? People talk about how you don't and CB, I think, just mentioned it. Like, you don't remember how bad Texas was before Sark. Do people remember how bad Tennessee was before Josh Heupel? They were averaging like 7 wins a season since 2000.
No,
they ain't moving on from Josh Heupel.
Not after 1 year, and not especially after the entire saga after Nico Iamaleava takes off, and they still find a way to make it work.
And Josh Heupel was right in that situation.
Yes.
Nah, you're not going to hold me hostage. Get the hell out of here.
A coach who didn't hold his NIL donors hostage for another $4 million something, and they still has a decent season. It's silly. But all that being said, at the end of the day, we see it. There are things that need to be fixed at Texas. There are things that need to improve at Texas because, you cannot just you can't just chalk this up as, oh, it was a freak season. You have to learn the pieces out of that. And so you talked about it yesterday, Matt, that maybe there is the positive you can take out of this is the learning experience that will help Sark get over the hump that he felt before. So you kind of hit a speed bump 2 years ago in Washington. You hit a speed bump last year in Ohio State, and now can, really having your car stall out again, get you over that speed bump in 2026 with hopefully a lot of returning players and maybe some additions in the portal, some new recruits. Maybe you're able to pick that up and play a little bit better, a different attitude going into spring. I think we know that canceling the spring game, everything else, about having to play so many games and Sark having the narrative, which I've said a while ago, I don't like that narrative. I hope he cuts it out before next season of we're playing a 16-game season. Like, you ain't this year, bud. So you can't tell me you ain't playing 16 games. So don't tell me that you couldn't have done more in spring to be ready to then have to deal with that problem at the end. He over prepares. He does it in his game plans a lot too. He overthinks things and over prepares for every individual anomaly except them just doing what they've done all season. and sometimes he'll get into it and then miss something where he goes, oh, they just copied the Florida game plan. They literally just copied it, and that was all they did, and that was able to stop us. And so there's things he does like that where he thinks too much and gets into his own head, and that's where you want to have some different minds come in the coaching staff. You want to have some continuity left after the season. You don't want to blow everything out, but you do want to have some changes out there because it does feel like you maybe need a fresh view after 4 years.
Yeah. Listen, I don't care if Sark was calling the bet every single week was calling the best game that he ever called in his entire life in terms of play calling. If you can't protect your quarterback, you're going to struggle. If you can't run the football because your offensive line, you're going to struggle. If you can't stop people from getting explosive plays on you in the passing game, you're going to struggle. And those have been the three things that have really plagued Texas, especially over the last 4 weeks. Look, I did my film review today, and I got about halfway through one this morning, and we'll get into it here in a little while. But I got about halfway through one this morning, and I was doing the Texas offense. And I was like, I got to a point and I was like, this is just the same shit that I've seen all season long. This is going to be a worthless film review.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. Arch gets the ball, he drops back, and the second that he hits his last step in the drop back, he's got a guy in his face. And he has to create out of nothing, and he has to do all sorts of weird arm angle things to make things work. And he's still being successful at it now, which just should give you confidence for what could actually happen if you protect this kid.
Yeah.
So I changed gears and I did something else. But this is like, this isn't hard to figure out. You fix your offensive line, you fix your issues in the secondary. If you fix your offensive line, you fix almost everything on your offense. Fix your secondary, you're going to be good to go next year. And I get that Texas is going to probably end the season 8-4, maybe 9-3. And everybody's going to be like, oh, this is such a disappointing year, which they're right. It's a disappointing year.
Yeah.
Patrick, I'll bet you a beer that Texas starts next season in number 1, number 2, or number 3 in the preseason.
They'll be top 5 most likely. Yeah. Because it's hype and the hype machine. And by the way, every person who is right now telling you how doom and gloom it is and they should fire Sark and everyone needs to be held accountable and everything else in the media who's doing that, in about 5 months, we'll be telling you about how 2026 Texas will be a national champion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the stuff that bothers me, is because there's no honesty in it. And I don't want to name anybody by name, but I know the people who do this and they make money off of it, selling Texas, and it's frustrating. Don't do it, hair of the dog. Don't use coach speak on us. No, I get that.
Yeah, hire Matt Galatzan as your play caller. Hire Rod Babers as your defensive backs coach and defensive passing game coordinator. National title guaranteed.
Matt, no offense, but you might be worse than Nick Caley as an offensive play caller. I'm just going to go on a limb.
Oh, dude, I would be awful. I would be awful.
I don't understand. Never called plays before in your life. I understand football pretty well.
Yeah. I think. There's no way in hell I could call a single series on offense for a high school team.
Yeah. By the way, hair of the dog, where's my job? Where do I get to go in this?
You're the strength and conditioning coordinator.
Oh, that's worse than LSU's hire. Getting rid of their guy. Yeah, come on. You can't say hire 2 guys I work with last. You can't give me a job there. No, but let's get into your all 22 then, Matt, and what you did look at today, because that's kind of, and I agree with you. There was a lot of this game where it was kind of the same problems, and it was just Kirby knowing how to attack those things. I would have loved to see some of the films go back with the Amazon Prime now has a pressure tracker on the quarterback they'll use on some plays, where basically you can see where it's like green and then it goes yellow and then red on their plays. That's like, if you had that for Arch, it would just be consistently yellow and red. It'd be green for 4 seconds in a game. It would, there's just so much pressure on those. So But what did you get for us today, Matt, with your all 22? We gave you an extra day to really break it down and then to try and figure out what you wanted to show to us today. So what do you got for us today, Matt?
Well, I'm trying to find the pressures that Georgia had against Texas. Before I get into it real quick, is it right here? Is it? Yes. Georgia had 30 pressures against Arch Manning this past weekend. 3 sacks, 4 hits, 23 hurries.
Not what you want to see. Not what
That's
you want
not
to
what
see.
you want to see at all. So instead of going into that, I decided to go into what Georgia did offensively that broke Texas's back. And I really wanted to put in the onside kick, but they don't have that on the all 22, unfortunately. So we're gonna skip over that. But we're gonna start with play 18 of the game. This is Georgia's first offensive series, their second play of the series. Colin Simmons had a sack on the first play, and this is just this is on Jelani McDonald's is for what my money's for my money, because what's going to happen here before we get into the next screenshot is Colin Simmons is going to crash in and read the running back, and then Jelani McDonald is going to pop outside, but he takes a bad angle, and Oscar Delp comes across this way, and Jelani McDonald just kind of takes himself out of the play. So you can see it right here. Colin Simmons is crashing in on the running back to take that away. Jelani McDonald's right here. And then for some reason, he takes an inside angle when Oscar Delp already has the leverage on the outside, and he just completely washes himself out of the play. Gunnar Stockton's able to take this thing around the side for a big gain. And those are just the simple kinds of mistakes that this defense was making at a consistent level in the first quarter and in the fourth quarter specifically, because they held up pretty well in the second and third quarters defensively. But that was just kind of the start of what went wrong. Play number 20. This is just, Gunnar finds a soft spot in the zone. So Texas runs this pretty consistently. They're going to run a cover 3 here with one high safety and Michael Taff. And Manny Muhammad's going to drop back this way. Gilbo's going to drop back this way. And then what that's going to do with these guys running here and Michael Taft playing deep is it's going to leave the middle of the field in this little pocket would end up being over here wide open. And Gunnar just layers the football really well over the defenders and finds a way to get it to Humphreys right there for a huge gain. I mean, that's a 20-something yard gain there for Gunnar, and that puts them at the 35-yard line. 30-yard line, as a matter of fact, after they wrap him up there. And just another big chunk play for Georgia. 3 plays later, Texas plays really soft again. And I don't think that Texas really trusted Gunnar's ability to make big-time throws, because you see they have it over here on the left hash. And look how far Manny Muhammad is off the line of scrimmage here. Keep in mind, this is a 3rd and 10, and you are 10 to you're about 10 yards off, and he's going to backpedal a little bit as well. He backs almost 15 yards up off the line and gives him a huge cushion. And then Bell is he just runs a kind of an up and out here to the first down marker, and Gunnar makes that's a really long throw, and he puts it on a rope and he hits Bell on the numbers and he's able to get a first down. Like those kinds of things I just don't understand with this defense. I get that you can't really man-to-man these guys, and because they'll beat you off the line because they're really good at that, but you can't give them that kind of cushion and expect them not to convert, because Gunnar Stockton's a really good quarterback. A couple plays later, Georgia's motion throws Texas off, and Gilbo is going to rotate too far. This is a 2nd and 9 in the red zone. And they're going to motion to the left here, and then Gilbo is going to rotate. Back. The safeties are going to rotate a little bit this way. Gilbo is going to over rotate to the short side of the field, and Georgia runs a play action. And you can see Gilbo's already out of position right here, and he's going to have to recover as Noah Thomas comes up and then runs out towards the pylon, and he's just too far behind. You can see him getting beat right here. Gunner's rolling to the long side of the field, and he just lays it in there, and Noah Thomas is able to get an easy touchdown over Gilbo. You can see another angle of it here. They're, the motion is happening right here. And you can see Gilbo saying, "Hey, move right. And by the time he realizes what's happening, Noah Thomas sees it, and he's like, "All right, I got the leverage on this guy." And Gilbo just can't recover. And he's like, "Yep, see you later." And it's an easy throw for Gunner and a touchdown. Play 36. This is another soft coverage, giving Georgia a first down. It's 2nd and 4. This first down and 10 is wrong. It's a 2nd and 4, and Texas is giving about 10 yards of cushion, and Georgia just runs short of the coverage and moves the chains. I mean, here's the first down marker right here. It's 2nd and 4. Why are you 10 yards off the line of scrimmage? You got the one high safety again. Got a safety here, but why are you so far off the line of scrimmage? You're on an island out here. Why are you so far off the line of scrimmage? It's an easy read for Gunner. He sees his guy run to the sticks, and he just immediately fires and hits it, and that's a first down. It shouldn't be that complicated, in my opinion, Patrick. Like if you're going to play that far off, it has to be like you need to be aware of where the first down sticks are if you're a defensive back. And I get that playing zone, but if you give that guy that much cushion, he's gonna move the chains every single time. All right, we're gonna play 37. This is another soft coverage. Texas is in cover 3 again. You can tell that they're in zone coverage by the way they're lined up, but Texas just leaves the middle of the field wide open on this play. And Zachariah Branch is gonna run kind of an over route here, and find that he's wide open in the middle of the zone. I mean, everybody's just bailing out here. It's just bail, and look at that cushion in the zone there. And if you give a guy like Zach, I mean, this is unbelievable how much space that he has in the middle of the field. And if you leave a guy like Zachariah Branch open in the middle of the field, who I like to call, after being in Athens this weekend, I've learned that they call him Yakariah Branch because he leads the nation in yards after the catch. I mean, he's one of the fastest players in the country. And he just takes this catch, kind of circles back, and then just burns down the field and gets a huge gain. Michael Taft's not going to catch him. Jelani McDonald's not going to catch him. You're lucky that this guy was able to fight off a block and get back in on the play and make the tackle. But just, again, stuff that you can't do against this football team. This is just a really tough play here this is play number 41. This is just a really tough play here for Cade Phillips. True freshman. You got him lined up one-on-one with a 6'4", 6'5" receiver in Noah Thomas. And they're one-on-one in man coverage. And you can play man coverage against Georgia in this kind of scenario because you're in red zone and there's not as much space for them to run around. But if you're going to match somebody up with Noah Thomas, let's not make it a true freshman who really doesn't have a whole lot of experience. Noah Thomas just runs up and in, and then retreats back to the pylon, and it's just an easy pitch and catch for them right there. And Phillips makes a good play on the ball, but he's just a split second too late, and Thomas is able to catch it and take it into the end zone. I do have one positive plan here for Texas, and this is play number 96. I skipped a lot of the middle quarters because it was just, defensive the whole way, and Texas made a lot of good plays during that time. But This is the best play by a Texas player that I've seen all season long. This is Anthony Hill's interception. It's just an absolutely insane play. He turns his hips, so you'll see the snap here. He's turned inside this way, and he's reading Gunner, and he just, he looks back and sees where Dylan Bell is, and then he just flips his hips like butter. Boom, boom, and then he high points the football, retreats back, high points the football, and just makes an insanely athletic play and gets the interception. And that set up Texas's only touchdown of the football game, which was helped out by a great 3rd and long throw by Arch Manning, and then a pass interference by Georgia. Otherwise, you probably still don't get into the end zone. This is play 109. This is the 4th and 1, and this is Mike Bobo just running a clinic on Texas. And these are the kinds of 4th down plays that always work too. But this is they line up in a pistol formation with an H back here and a running back here, and they've got 3 tight ends in the game right here: Lawson Lucky, Oscar Delp, and 10 right here. And then they shift and go under center, and one of the offensive linemen moves over to the right, which you don't see a whole hell of a lot. And then they run a play action, and Michael Taft bites on it. Leongo Lafau bites on it. Ethan Burke and this defensive lineman, who I think is Alex January, but I can't tell from that angle. Yeah, it's Alex January. They all bite on it, and Gunner just rolls out to the right, and McDonald is following Lawson Lucky. Manny Muhammad has his back turned to the play, and he's looking at Lawson Lucky, and then they just dump it off to the running back and convert. And what you don't see from this angle, I guess you can kind of see it over here on the left. If Gunner had decided to take a step back and throw the football down the field, Lawson Lucky had beaten Jelani McDonald deep for a touchdown. But he dumps it off. He takes the safe play, dumps it off to the running back, Nate Frazier, who then, plants his foot in the ground. He has a blocker right there, and he's able to move the ball upfield, and Lafau is able to recover and make the tackle, but it's too late. This is a couple plays later. This is play 112. It's 2nd and 10, minute 55 left in the 3rd quarter. This is Bobo just calling another great play here. Cash Jones just gets wide open in the middle of the flat, and this isn't like they're sending everybody deep to clear things out. Lawson Lucky's going to come over this way, and you'll see him in a second. And Cash Jones runs to the flat. You're going to see him in a second set up to block before Gunner has let the ball go. He doesn't care about anything going on up here. He's pretending like he does.
Yeah.
But he knows exactly what's going to happen. These guys are going to follow all these receivers deep. Lawson Lucky's setting up to block, and then he just turns around and dumps it off to his running back, basically an extended run play. And look at all that space he's got to work with. And he is able to he gets a block from Lucky. He's able to move the ball down the field and get real close to a 1st down. There's another angle of it right here. And Roberson's able to kind of force him out of bounds enough to save the 1st down. He steps out of bounds. That makes it about 3 yards to go on that play. But, there we are. This is the banana in the tailpipe. Again, this right here is wrong. It's not 3rd and 14. It's 4th and 4. And this is the banana in the tailpipe. Kirby Smart's not going to go for it here. That's not his MO. That's not what he does. That's never what he's done. He is going to either try to draw you off sides or punt the football. And if you're watching the live footage of this, you can see these 2 defensive coaches right here jumping up and down, saying, don't jump, don't. I assume they're saying, don't jump, don't jump, don't jump. But Colin Simmons jumps, and you get an automatic 1st down there. And this is something that, you see a lot of teams, I mean, pretty much all the way from high school up to the NFL, who on 4th and 4 in this kind of situation will have some kind of sign up that just says, don't jump, because they know they're not trying to go for it. This isn't Lane Kiffin. This isn't Steve Sarkisian. They're going to try to draw you off sides. Maybe that's what the headphones are. I don't know. Maybe that's quiet the noise. I'm not sure. But they end up jumping off sides. That extends the drive. And a couple plays later, at the beginning of the fourth quarter, there's a miscommunication in the secondary, and it leads to a touchdown. So what happens here is Oscar Delp comes in motion here, and Gilbo's eyes go to Oscar Delp, and Michael Taft's eyes go to Oscar Delp, instead of one of them taking accountability for this player right here, which is Humphreys. And you can see them both staring at Delp here, and then Humphreys runs right by them. McDonald is too far away from the play to be able to make a difference. Humphreys is already calling for the ball right here. You can see him sticking his hand up right there to call for the football, but it's too late. Gunner hits him, opens up the floodgates. He scores a touchdown, and from there the route's really on. And after that play, they do the onside kick, and then a couple plays later, this is play 125. Georgia had already been running the football down their throat on this drive. Nate Frazier was getting chunk after chunk, and this time it was Gunner's turn. And they send Dylan Bell in motion here, and that draws the eyes of the defense, and they run kind of a little fake jet sweep there, and Gunner keeps it, and he's able to get to the outside and make a really, really heady play here too, I think, because he can run to the sideline and probably get a couple yards, but he sees the crease and he trusts his guys to block. So he turns it up and he gets into the crease and he moves the chains and gets a first down. And then 2 plays later, this is really where the game ended. I know that they scored another touchdown and Texas got the ball back a couple times, but this is really where the game ended. And it's just like really bad eye discipline once again. Gunner looks like he's going to keep it on a quarterback sweep, and everybody crashes on him. Michael Taft, the linebackers, everybody's going down for him. And Lucky's able to kind of escape out the back, and it's just a wide open touchdown in the corner there, and he hits it, and then, that's game. Michael Taft missed on the tackle and falls to the ground here, and Gunner's flexing on him. And that was just kind of the mood of the night, I guess, was Georgia flexing on Texas, and it's just it was a horribly, I think, a horribly called defensive game, specifically in the first quarter and in the fourth quarter, but the third quarter was also pretty bad towards the end. Bad eye discipline, bad play calls, bad coverage. Bad discipline on the fourth and short, and it just it really opened the floodgates for them. And I didn't know that like everybody's going to want to share their screenshots of Colin Simmons getting held, and Grayson Littleton getting held, and DeAndre Moore on the defensive holding that didn't get called. None of that stuff matters because you couldn't stop them. Even if you get those holding calls, it seemed like they were just going to move the football down the field anyway and score on you because you weren't staying disciplined and you weren't keeping your assignment sound and all of those things. So just a horrible defensive effort all night for Texas for the most part, with the exception of like the middle part of the second quarter to like the middle part of the third quarter. They were able to be a little bit more sound. Outside of that, it was just kind of a disaster.
Yeah. And I mean, it is... I appreciate that, Matt. Appreciate you taking the time to do that. It is that the problem of that we've been sitting in, and it is probably one of the most frustrating things of Sark's entire thought of football is that explosive plays matter more than anything else. And so On offensively, you have to try and take shots all the time, which he's had to dial back because they can't do it. But defensively, they just say, well, do not let them get over the top of you. Do not let him get over the top of you.
Mm-hmm.
They go, okay, we'll just march down the field on you. And for Sark to say, well, we're not going to do that, and not look and go, by the way, we haven't gotten calls in 2 years. So their drive's probably going to be okay. Like, the drive killers that we keep getting are the teams we're playing aren't getting. So why are we pretending that they're going to get a hold somewhere in here and kill their drive, and that'll be the reason to punt? They're going to march down the field on us, get no penalties, and walk in the end zone. And then we'll sit there and go, well, they didn't get an explosive play. They took 7 minutes off the clock.
Yeah.
And score with these. You cannot keep playing that way over and over. If you do it against A&M, they're going to do the same exact thing to you. Like, and if you do it against Arkansas, they're going to do the same exact thing to you. If you refuse to be aggressive, I get you may get burned on an explosive play here and there, but like we saw the Zachariah Branch one, you gave him 20 yards and a running start. How does that not in your brain still go, oh, that's an explosive play? Like, they're allowing them to get 15 yards and then going, well, we'll tackle them at 15, and that's better. So it's there's so many things in there that it's like, because I know PK can call a better game, and I know they can do those things. That's clearly a game plan going in. We want to play a loose zone. And if you're playing offense against Texas, why would you not just go underneath all day? They're going to be wide open. It's going to be pitch and catch all day long. So just keep doing it, and we'll put up 35 points on them pretty easily.
Yeah, it's death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
Instead of the alternative, which, I get that they don't have the same personnel in the secondary this year, so they probably can't do the same things that they did last year. But you just kind of have to live by the sword, die by the sword. If you're going to give up an explosive play, I get it. That's a really good receiver group, but you can't just let them march their way all the way down the field and
if you're
do those
kinds
of things. But you're also
playing past the sticks.
Yeah,
you have to explain that one to me.
Yeah, you do. And also you were getting crushed in the running game as well. They were moving you off the line and opening up massive holes for Nate Frazier the entire second half. And you're not going to win that way either. And then if you move over to the offensive side of the ball, like, I don't care how many penalties you think that Georgia had or how many, all these different things. None of that mattered. If you have 6 to 8 drops, all of the majority of which were for first downs, one was by Ryan Wingo on an explosive play. If you have all those drops and you're not helping out your quarterback, I mean, Arch probably had, if I remember correctly, he probably had 2 real misses the entire game. 2 real misses. One of them was an overthrow on Emmett Mosley, like when the game mattered, I mean.
Yeah.
One of them was an overthrow to Emmett Mosley where he probably should have gone to somebody else that was open, but oh well. And then the other miss was a penalty on Georgia. Like, they held DeAndre Moore, and it ended up being an interception. So, but if you can't help out your quarterback by protecting him and by catching the football when you get it, then you're dead in the water anyway. So it's pointless. Like, complain all you want about the holding, and I complained about it on Twitter. It was obnoxious, and I hated it, but it didn't make the difference in the game.
No, it's extremely frustrating when you're watching. When you're watching, it's extremely frustrating. But yeah, at the end of the day, when you go back and rewatch the film, you're like, I get it, but yeah, we weren't really in that game for much. And I can understand if you get a couple penalties, it can change momentum. Maybe you can get back into it. But I don't think that it would have fixed the defensive play calling, which I just wasn't a fan of in this game. That I thought they played way too many times. They played loose. And like, again, we're getting mad at the secondary coaches in there. Dwayne Akeem is not calling loose coverage.
No, he's not.
And, it's one thing if you want to sit in there and tell me, I told him to stop at the sticks. The play call says stop at the sticks, and they backed up another 15. We can go do that. That we can have that argument of like, okay, yeah, something's really wrong in the coaching. But that mindset, like, I just don't know what you're going to do these last 2 weeks, because Talon Green can carve you up and Marcel Reed can carve you up. And so you're going to play 2 more quarterbacks that are going to just pick you apart if you let them. And if, like, both these teams have vulnerabilities you can go after, but if you're going to play this loose style, 35 points is kind of where your starting point of where you have to score to be able to beat them. And that's not a cohesive way to win football games.
No, it's not. And PK's calling the defense. The eye discipline thing.
Oh, I agree.
Is a real concern to me, not just in the secondary. Like, yes, in the secondary, that's a big issue, especially right now. But the linebackers too were crashing down on these play actions and not their eyes weren't where they're supposed to be. In that last play that I showed with Lawson Lucky, everybody crashed down on Gunnar Stockton. Everybody. Nobody accounted for the tight end that was leaking out the back. And that's just kind of a microcosm of it.
I mean, we talked about this weeks ago. But there's a world too ago. If you want to drop your guys in zone coverage all game, they're going to be less disciplined. They're going to care less about playing the game. And I know you don't want to hear that, but no one wants to play a game that isn't fun. And zone coverage sucks to play. It's just not fun because you drop back and then you're like, okay, I just allowed him for 15 yards. My hometown hates me. My crowd hates me. I look like I messed up the play, and I did exactly what I was supposed to do. And they still got 15 yards because of the play call. Because I'm supposed to drop back, and they can just do it over and over again. And so you get to, like, I have to make a big play because it looks like I'm getting killed out here, even though I'm doing everything technically right. And it's like, sometimes you have to give these guys bigger challenges to keep their minds in the game. If you don't blitz, edges are going to get bad in the run game. Just is what it is. And that's at every level. That's not just saying, college kids, that's saying NFL players too. If you play really, really slow, mundane football, offensively or defensively, if you only drop in pass coverage, your O-line's going to be worse unless you give them some run plays, because then they get to win in some of those run plays and they get to hit the other guy too. Like, these are simple mental things you have to do for your football team. And it just felt like there's been certain games this year where Sark overthinks it to the point of, and PK too, and whoever else is in that room overthinks it to the point of, we now have to allow, we can't let them beat us deep. They're going to beat us. They're going to get us with a big one. So we can't let that happen. You're like, but they're going to beat you still.
Yep.
And if you would have just gone with game plan A, you probably would have had just as good of a shot as you went with game plan F. That is, well, now we've thought of everything. And in reality, you've just run around in a circle and now you're playing loose coverage. So I do appreciate, though, because you did see it really there. A lot of those times where maybe you're watching the game and you rewatch and you think, well, they're not in totally the wrong position. And then you're like, yeah, if you played that 1,000,000% right, it's a first down. Like, they just called a play. They can look at that offense, at that defense, and go, yeah, all right, we get a first down. And there shouldn't be plays. There shouldn't be multiple plays in a game that all the offense has to do is pitch and catch, and it's a first down.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's extremely frustrating. The only thing that really pops into my mind about why they're doing that is because of the personnel.
I agree,
but that's not an excuse. That's that I think that's what they are thinking. And that just goes back to, well, we missed in our personnel decisions in the offseason.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have brought in another corner.
Well, and we met, and they tried to bring in a couple. I remember there was a couple of guys that they went for and just were outbid for. But that's now, going this offseason. All right, we got to, we're going to have to pony up on some of these. And, if these people want to go, you're going to have to pony up. And on the flip of that, again, you cannot go through spring and offseason with the lack of progress that these guys had of young players who really should be getting number one reps and doing all these practices and training and everything else for months more than it felt like they were doing. They were in rest and recovery mode way too long, it felt like. And I'm only saying that because Sark kept telling us we don't want to go hard because we've been playing 16, 17 games, and we're going to play 16 games every year. And we're not playing 16 games this year. So that is where it gets frustrating because it's like, well, because you didn't want them to be hurt in game 15, now there is no game 13 or no game 14 or no whatever you're going to get to. All right. Let's take our first break here, Matt. We come back, we'll hit our overreactions. If you guys have any overreactions you want to throw into the chat, go ahead and throw those in. We'll take this quick break in 2.5 minutes. Come right back, hit some NFL talk. The Cowboys got a win last night as well. And we'll talk more about Texas football, I'm sure. As you guys keep talking in the chat, we'll keep going with it here on Open Gym on Texas Sports Unfiltered.
Hi, this is Tom McKay, owner of Audiovisual Consultations, and all of us at Audiovisual would like to wish you and your family a happy holiday season. This time of year can get a little hectic, so we want to remind you to relax, enjoy the season with your family and friends, and give us a call at 512-255-8678 for all of your home entertainment needs. This is my favorite time of the year. I love the holidays, the music, the decorations, the presents, the whole darn thing. So this year I'm asking all you listeners to help make this a special holiday for everyone. Smiles are contagious and free, so let's give them away like the government gives away your money. Let's high-five strangers on the street, hold the door for people behind us, tip your servers more than they've ever been tipped before, give to a charity, or hell, give to a bunch of charities. If someone does a good job, tell them they did a good job. Pat someone on the butt, sing in public places just because it feels good. And as always, hug your kids until they beg you to stop, watch some games with your friends, and make love to your wife or your husband. I know there's some women listening too. You can still give us a call at 512-255-8678 if you'd like to get some cool electronics, but more importantly, have a great holiday season and a fucking awesome next year.
You see covert everywhere. It's that personal level of just feeling like it's a personal family interaction.
The customer service, it's impeccable. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced buying a car.
Over the 30 years that I've been buying cars from them, I feel like I know them and they know me.
Covert's done an amazing job of making me feel valued. If you purchase a vehicle and you want to feel like you're part of a family, join the Covert family.
Come and experience it for yourself.
Covert, born and raised in Austin.
BK here for OLIPOP. Man, this stuff is the game changer of all game changers. Their slogan is a new kind of soda, and that's exactly what it is. You get that same great soda taste, but OLIPOP is actually good for you. Inside of every can, a blend of 7 unique botanicals, plant fibers, and prebiotics. You're getting 9 grams of fiber in every can, only 2 to 5 grams of sugar, and man, the flavor is absolutely there. Classic soda flavors like cola, root beer, lemon lime, and Dr. Goodwin. That's their version of a Dr. Pepper, and some other great flavors as well. The grape, the cream soda, the cherry cola. It's all fantastic. I'm telling y'all, OLIPOP tastes just like the soda you grew up sipping, but with the added benefits of microbiome and digestive health support as well. Pick up OLIPOP at H-E-B, Target, Walmart, Whole Foods, and Costco all throughout the Austin area and the state of Texas. And head over to drinkolipop.com. Use the promo code TEXAS20 for a discount on your first purchase. It's OLIPOP, a new kind of soda.
Back here on Open Gym, here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. Myself, Patrick Davis, alongside Matt Galatzan of Texas Longhorns on SI. And, of course, you, the third member of Open Gym. Text line's open 512-222-9328. Of course, on the chat, Facebook, Twitch, X, and on YouTube. Matt just hit that all 22 for you. If you haven't missed it, if you missed that, go back and check it out on the YouTube feed. Some really good stuff showing you the frustrations that, makes you not have to go back and watch the game again, not to watch all of it, but maybe get a better look at it. So we appreciate that from Matt. If you guys have any overreactions, we do overreactions here every Tuesday. Some things I have heard, some things I've seen, read, talked to people about. Maybe some I've made up my own. We'll talk with Matt and you guys if you believe that these are legitimate reactions or overreactions. You can throw those in there. Chan's even thrown in a basketball one. So we'll get to Chan's basketball one here in a minute because I like that. I like that, getting into some Texas basketball talk. Game tonight. I was looking. There's some cheap tickets. I might try and go to that game. It's an 8 o'clock game, so I get a little bit more time to get down there to the Moody Center. But there's some tickets like under $10. So
there you go.
Which I know CDC's not thrilled about, but that there's a bunch of tickets for sale still. But it is Ryder. It is the Ryder Bronx. When you have 4 people that cover sports and one of them knows it because he looked it up this morning. Of the team you're playing's mascot, it's not really a big game, but that will be the piece tonight. So we'll start with that. We'll start with Chan's basketball one before we get into our football ones, Matt. And This is the overreaction. If Coach Miller starts Pope as our point guard, the team shall not make the March tournament. I think this is somewhat of an overreaction. That there's a bit of an overreaction in there, which is I think this team can be okay with Pope in there used in the right spaces. I am not a Jordan Pope truther, believer. I do think he's overmatched. I think once we get to SEC play, it will be much more noticeable than it is right now. He is a guy that, for what Sean Miller wants to do, is the right prototype of player. He is a guy who can hit threes. He is a guy that can run fast. He is a guy that can do a lot of those pieces. He has decent court vision. I think he has a lot of those pieces that Jordan Pope has, but he's not there as a player. He's just not that guy. He played better at Oregon State because the competition was less. He hasn't really been able to do it against some of these teams. He wasn't able to do it against Kansas City. We know that. And so once you get into SEC play, it'll be way more evident of why he's there. But the Sean Miller system requires shooters. It requires a point guard. It requires some of these things that they just don't have on this roster, Chan. So if you want to say this team's not a tournament team, that's questionable too to me. I think it's an overreaction to say this early in the season because I think some players will play better. I think you're going to change up what your approach to this season is a little bit more as it goes in, that I could see Tremont Mark reassigning some of those point guard duties. I don't really want him to because I think he's playing better basketball. I think him and Dalen Swain are right now, you're probably two best players outside of Voikatitis, who's played well, but we don't know what Voikatitis is going to do once he starts playing against bigger, stronger guys in SEC play. Also, his foul trouble could be an issue. But the positive is, if last year's any insights and how many teams are in there right now, you have a decent shot just being in the SEC. If you're able to win a few games in the SEC play, you might be able to do it. I will tell you, we can react to this a lot more after Thanksgiving and after the Maui Invitational, Chan. That is when we'll know much better about this Texas basketball team, where they kind of sit with some other teams with at least somewhat equally matched rosters versus playing Fairleigh Dickinson and Kansas City and Ryder tonight. I think that all those places. I'm with you, though. I want Simeon Wilcher to be the guy, but it doesn't feel like Simeon Wilcher is the guy either right now. And it doesn't feel like he's practicing at the level he needs to, because there's a reason why Pope is in there. But I'm curious to see what the lineup is tonight. I'm genuinely curious to see if Jordan Pope is back in the starting lineup again tonight. I assume he's going to be, but I have not seen yet, so we'll find out.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of an overreaction because it's still very early in the season. I don't expect Texas to lose too many non-con games. Who else do they play? Do they play UConn at a certain point in the non-con? Is that right, or somebody like that?
I think so. I think it's them.
Ideally, Texas will enter SEC play with 2 losses.
Well, remember the Maui Invitational, too. You play more games. So we only Arizona State scheduled, but you go in the bracket after that. So they will play more than one game in Maui. It's just only Arizona State's listed right now.
Yeah, so like 2 to 3 losses in non-con play. That gets you into the SEC play if you
play
decently
UConn
there
on December 12th.
Yeah, if you do decently in SEC play, you go 500 and you finish in the top 10 of the SEC, you're probably getting into the tournament. So I think they can do that, and I think they'll be okay. Like I think they will make the tournament in year 1 of Sean Miller. If they don't, I don't think it matters because this is the first year of a rebuild, and he's done a really good job recruiting so far.
He's pulled in some good people. He's pulled in some people.
Gooseby was a huge get.
Yep.
So
it was.
I think it'll be on the right track.
Some of the other teams you may end up playing in this tournament are Seton Hall, NC State, USC, Boise State, Washington State University, and Chaminade.
I think they can beat all those teams.
But those are the other teams, along with Arizona State and Texas, in the tournament. So Virginia, Arizona State. But Arizona State, again, we could play Washington State after Arizona State, or we could play Chaminade. I don't know who Chaminade is. I don't know this
Chaminade.
Chaminade, I don't know them.
I don't know.
You could play USC, Boise State, Seton Hall, NC State. All those are teams we could end up playing in the Maui Invitational. So it's not just Arizona State, but the bracket will go out after we play that first game on November 24th. So we will know more after the entirety of the Maui Invitational about a little bit more about what this team does as we continue to see what we do. So, yeah, keep throwing those overreactions and appreciate that, Chan, throwing in a good one there on the text line to get checked out. And I know parking is expensive. I park on the streets and I walk. I don't mind walking an extra mile or so. It doesn't bother me that much. I always do that rather than getting to one of the parking lots that takes forever and costs $40 and gets in and gets out. So, yeah, I tend to, if I go to a Texas basketball game, I try and be cheaper, go pay for street parking somewhere. And then take the walk up to the Moody Center. I've done that a few times. Sometimes it's a little bit further than you want to do, but, it is what it is. Let's get to our next overreactions, get into college football here. And, all right, let's hit this first one. This is somewhat of a nicer version of what we've heard a bunch, but we'll start with this one. CDC needs to make Sark rework his entire staff to stay at Texas.
No, that's a wild overreaction. PK is still one of the best defensive coordinators in college football. Johnny Nanson's still one of the best linebacker coaches in college football. Chris Jackson's still one of the best wide receiver coaches. Kyle Flood is the best offensive line coach in the country. I know the what you've seen this year has not indicated that, but he is the most sought after mind in terms of offensive line coaches in the country. You just need to make a couple changes probably in the secondary. Maybe you need to make a change in strength and conditioning because you haven't been the most physical and dominant team at the line of scrimmage this year, especially offensively. And maybe you need to discuss somebody else like AJ Milwee calling plays.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that is an overreaction to go and say that you got to rework everything because, again, you're talking about recruits, you're talking about consistency, and there's a lot of things in continuity that you really want to keep. I do think there's probably going to be, like every year, you're going to have a few people leave the program anyway. You're going to have staff turnover anyway, and usually you're not losing the guys you hope to get rid of. You're normally losing the people you'd like to keep. So I don't think CDC's at that point either. CDC is also backed, after the Desmond Howard thing, which, by the way, I read wrong when I was seeing that. Tennessee, they mean the Titans, clearly, because that was a rumor earlier.
That makes
not
sense.
Tennessee. It makes way more sense when I was looking. I was like, oh wait, that is what it means.
Yeah, it's odd that that's the exact same team that Diana Rossini.
Yeah, no, because Sark really wants to go to the Titans because he really wants to coach. What's that guy's name? What's the most overpaid tackle that they signed in the?
Dan something. I can't remember.
But I don't think you look at that Tennessee team right now and think, oh yeah, they're a year away. I could be there and I'll turn them around. You think I go there, I'll be fired in 2 years.
They're the new Jets, man.
They're owned by the Adamses. The Adamses suck, all of them.
Yep.
Give the Oilers back, and then I'll say you don't suck anymore.
There's a reason they haven't played for anything ever.
Titans did back in the day.
Back in the day,
Super Bowl, like right after they moved.
In recent modern history, they have not been. They have not been a good football team.
No, I'm with you. But I'm with you. The CDC overselling. Yeah, I don't think CDC's there. I think he's happy with what he has in that program. I think CDC, one of the things he does really well is smoothing over some things with donors. I know sometimes people get mad at him, but he tends to take the flack for a lot of it. And if he can take the flack and then still get them to put the proper money into the program and sell them on the fact of, guys, we're short money. I know there's people who are reporting that we're a $40 million program, but we're not. And you know that because how much did you donate? Not 40 million. I know that. So as much as people want to go, they're a $40 million roster. No, they're not. All right, next one. This one is another one that we have heard people complaining and saying it's already over. We've already decided not the guy. Kalen DeBoer won't last 4 seasons at Alabama.
That actually might not be an overreaction, because if he loses 2 games in a season, like, it's going to be wild in Alabama.
And that's what I'm saying is this one is, I don't think is the overreaction. They need to fire Kalen DeBoer. I think that's an overreaction. But the fact that they may, after next season, if he loses 2 again, and even if they make the playoffs, but he loses 2 games in the season, they'll be like, no, we got to get rid of this guy. He's not Nick Saban.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But that's what Alabama is. They expect to go undefeated and win a national championship every single year. And if you don't do it, then you're the worst thing that's ever happened to the state of Alabama.
And Joe, I get Miami seems like the better gig. I don't know if that's also the best gig. Miami has not really been relevant in that type of form in a long time because they don't spend the money long term. I know Ross has money. Most of these owners have lots of money, but they basically just gutted their defense. Like they're having to rebuild that entire defense now. And you've already got you're in there with Tua. They don't know what the Tyreek Hill situation is. Jalen Waddle seems like he's somewhat of not the guy you were expecting to get out of him. I don't know if that's the lineup. I get the offensive systems are similar, so the players kind of match, but I don't know if that as a team is necessarily a job that I walk into and go, oh yeah, we're ready to go compete enough that the odds of me not having another crap season, or I don't know if it's there or not.
Hey, they got Quinn Ewers, though, so that obviously means that that's the best place for him to go.
Well, he's going to have to bench him, though. No, Stark's going to have to bench him.
Yeah, he'll have to, they'll lose their first game, and then they'll say bench Quinn Ewers and draft Arch Manning.
Yeah, they'll go bench Quinn Ewers and go, he's on the bench. What do you want me to do? He's not playing.
Trade Quinn Ewers.
Trade Quinn Ewers. All right. How about this one? After the South Carolina first half, Texas A&M is playing with fire, and they will get burned soon enough.
No, I don't think that's the case. I think that they, if anything, to me, look unkillable.
Okay.
Like, you can throw anything at this team, and they can be in any situation, and they can still beat you. They played really bad. They got down 27 points, and they came out in the second half, and they absolutely worked over South Carolina. I don't see them losing a game in the regular season. I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean, they're going to lose to Texas. We all know that. But I do. I think this is not an overreaction. I think it's a bit of an overreaction. But I do think Texas A&M has, in my mind, they're going to lose another game, and they'd rather lose to Texas than in the playoffs in the first round. Because I get they had a second half for South Carolina. South Carolina sucks at football this year. They have been awful. They have been at the bottom of our SEC power rankings, Matt, for most of the season. You cannot get behind 27 points to other teams. They missed 2 field goals, turned the ball over 3 times. They just made so many dumb mistakes that I think they will play with fire at a point in this season, and it happened. I don't know if it's going to happen against Texas. It may happen in the SEC championship game. It may happen in the playoffs. But I do not think this is an undefeated national championship team.
All of those things happened, and they still won.
No, I'm aware of it. But they beat a really bad team.
Yeah, and Texas scraped by and beat Kentucky in overtime. Like teams have games like that.
No, I agree. But also, Texas isn't a national championship team.
No, they're not. But what I'm saying is, they have faced every single type of adversity that you can face this season outside of their quarterback being injured, and they've been able to get it done. And I think that if the same Texas team shows up against Texas A&M that showed up against Georgia, Texas A&M is going to score. There's going to beat them 56-13.
Well, all right. But if that team shows up, the reality is we're hoping that home Texas shows up, and home Texas is a lot more fun. Now, we don't hope the fourth quarter of Vanderbilt, Texas shows up. But I think home Texas does have a better shot than road Texas for sure.
Yeah, look, if you play the don't give up the explosive play game,
you're
against Texas A&M, and you give those receivers cushion,
you're dead.
You're dead.
Yeah. Oh, I'm aware of that. Yeah. All right. Next overreaction here, Matt. There isn't a quarterback this season who deserves the Heisman.
Marcel Reed deserves the Heisman.
Oh, I saw that first half. He's garbage. I turned it off at half, though. But he's garbage, right?
I think that he has the best case for the Heisman Trophy so far this year in terms of quarterbacks.
This is where I don't think it's an overreaction. I don't think a quarterback should win the Heisman this year. I think there's better players who have played other positions.
Oh, I agree with that, but it's going to be a quarterback because it's always a quarterback.
It wasn't last year.
Kind of like I know, but that's a special circumstance. Like it's a quarterback award right now. I think that there are a couple of players who deserve to be invited to New York who won't be because they're not quarterbacks. Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech is one of them. And Kwan Lacey from Ole Miss. He leads the nation in touchdowns.
Oh no, he's really good.
In the SEC.
No, I'm aware. He's really good.
And he ain't going to be invited. It's just I hate the Heisman.
All right. How about this one? We know who the 4 SEC teams in the playoffs will now be.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So you think Oklahoma's in?
Probably. I don't see a way that they lose to this LSU team, this iteration of LSU. And who's their other game they have this weekend?
Let's see.
Missouri, maybe?
Yeah, maybe Missouri. Is it Vanderbilt?
Missouri.
So
yeah, they'll beat Missouri without Matt Zollers, and they'll beat LSU without,
anybody.
So it's going to be A&M, it's going to be Oklahoma, it's going to be Georgia, and it's going to be Ole Miss, and Alabama's going to get into.
Yeah. All right. I didn't think that was too much of an overreaction. It feels like that's who we're at. One more in the college football overreactions. After this coaching style, Lane Kiffin has 2 years to win a title or he will be deemed a failure through no fault of his own. That now that he has been placed as the best coaching hire in college football, whether he goes or whether he stays, he's got 2 years until he becomes a failure.
No.
Now, you don't think the media narrative is going to be that? I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying the media narrative will be Lane Kiffin was overrated. It was a bust, and it's not hit through his own doing. I'm saying the media narrative will be that no matter what now, because Lane Kiffin is thought of as the best coaching hire, that it doesn't matter if he stays or goes. You got to win one now, because now everyone's like, well, we've been told you're great. So
Who's the last coach that won a national title in his second year with the program?
Ryan Day, maybe? No, it took him a little more than 2 years, right?
It took him a long time.
Urban Meyer was there not that long ago.
Urban Meyer won that in 2014.
I don't remember when Urban Meyer left. I'm getting old. You can tell. I don't remember days.
Probably Bob Stoops with Oklahoma would be my guess.
Okay. No, I'm with you that that's an overreaction to say that he would be a failure. I do think that will be the narrative. I think that whether he leaves or whether he stays, the fans will expect him to be great in the next 2 seasons. I do agree. I think it's silly, but when we see how everyone reacts to everything now, I just don't see any way that he can come out of this smelling the way he smelled before.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you that like ESPN is going to twist it, and Paul Feinbaum's probably going to be in politics by that point. But somebody like
Feinbaum will already be back out of politics by that point.
Probably somebody like Cam Newton or Stephen A. Smith, or one of the Acho brothers or something like that will make some wild, or Robert Griffin III will make some kind of wild claim. Danny Cannell is another one. They'll probably say it.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to say it. It's going to be ridiculous.
I got you. I just think like that was the one I was thinking about, where I was looking at it. I'm like, he's screwed. Like just screwed, because now everyone expects him to be amazing.
Well, actually, this is all irrelevant because Ole Miss is going to win a national championship this year. So
this year,
yeah,
I thought A&M was not going to lose another game.
They're both going to win a national championship.
Okay.
Yeah. One of them's going to win it. One of them's going to claim it.
You're dead right on that one. I know we lost in the first round of the playoffs, but that's because it was rigged. We're actual champions. Regular season champions.
That would be a very Aggie thing to do.
Oh, regular season champions.
Blame the refs and
put up a banner. All right, let's head to some NFL ones real quick. Let me check text and make sure we're good. All right, back to some NFL ones. All right, the Miami Dolphins, who have won a couple now, they will finish the season above 500. That they have turned the nose up a little bit more. They're playing a little bit better football. They will not saying they're going to make the playoffs. Saying they will finish above 500.
Ooh. Let me look at their schedule. So they've got the Saints, the Jets, the Steelers, the Bengals, the Bucks, and the Patriots. And they are 4-7. So if they beat the Saints, the Jets, the Steelers, and the Bengals, they'll be 8-7. And then they would just have to beat the Bucks or the Patriots.
Yeah.
And if the Patriots continue at this pace, they may be benching everyone.
Maybe.
So I don't think that's an overreaction. I think Mike McDaniel is going to save his job. He's going to get back above 500, and then we're going to do this whole thing next year. Or he's going to get fired, and Steve Sarkisian is going to hire him to call plays.
Oh, of course. Of course. You know, he wants to come to college. Who doesn't want to come recruit?
Dude, he would be an awesome recruiter.
Oh, he would, actually. You're right. He probably would be. All right. Our next one. The Packers, who did win this week, are not a serious Super Bowl contender because it took them once again. They played the Giants too close. And in parentheses, the Jerry Jones segment, and it's all Micah's fault.
What was the score of that game?
That one ended up
27-20. James Winston started because there was no Jackson Dart. Had Jackson Dart played in that game, the Giants might have won, Patrick.
Yeah.
I think that I was wrong about the Packers. I think I was wrong about the Packers, man.
Yeah, they just have not looked. They have not looked at all what we thought they were going to look like when they started off playing really well. It feels like they've been figured out a little bit more, and it's clearly Mike Parsons' fault.
And they lost Tucker Kraft.
Yeah, that was big.
And Matthew Golden's been hurt. I think they need another receiver.
Well, I mean, in reality, they need to get Matthew Golden up to what he's supposed to be because you used your first round pick on him. So you need to be able to get him going back. But yeah, you're talking about a Giants team without Dart, without Scatabo, without Malik Neighbors, and they are all playing close to you. Micah Parsons does get a sack and a half in that game, by the way. Sack and a half, if you were curious what he did in that game. All right, how about another team that did lose this week? The Kansas City Chiefs downfall is real. They are 5-5. They're 1-4 in away games. They have not played well. They lose to the Broncos, who are now 9-2 in their own division, looking like that is their division to win right now. But the Kansas City Chiefs, the downfall, it's real. This is not the same team that has finally happened after all of these years. The downfall has happened.
Yeah, I think they're going to lose their next 4 games, and they're going to beat the Titans, and then they're going to go 1-1 after that.
All right. So, do you think you'd not even make the playoffs?
That's what I'm hoping for.
All right. All right. How about this one? There will be at least 7 teams with new starting quarterbacks next season. I can give you the teams that I have written down for 7. But you can go if you want to say more. The Jets, Steelers, Browns, Raiders, Vikings, Falcons, and Cardinals will all be looking for new quarterbacks next season.
I think the Vikings are going to give JJ McCarthy 1 more year. To a fault. I don't think that's a good idea, but they will. Gosh, who else could need a new quarterback? Matthew Stafford might retire, so there could be 8.
It could be,
especially if he wins a Super Bowl. He could retire. Were the Saints on your list?
They were not, because they drafted Tyler Shuck and they feel okay with him right now. So I think they may wait on that another year and get like one of the 20 other positions they need.
Yeah, they'll probably draft Arch in 2027.
I mean, they could draft Garrett Nussmeier in like round 4 at this point.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I think like 8 or 9 probably is the cap, but probably more like 6 or 7.
And Joe, he could bolt, but I don't see why he would. Like
He's not going.
He's making plenty of money. He's not ready. Now I get if they don't spend money on the offensive line, he might go. He's like, dude, I don't want to get hit like that.
I think that he is more likely to transfer than go to the NFL, and he ain't transferring.
Yeah, I think the plan is still the plan. If I had to bet on it, that's what I would bet on right now. All right, a couple more overreactions here. If you got any more, throw them in the chat. If the Texans find a way to win on Thursday, they are alive and well in the playoff hunt. They would be 6-5. Would they win over Buffalo then, putting them in a better position? So if they're able to win, that's a big if, because CJ Stroud has already been ruled out for that game. It will be Davis Mills once again, but it's Thursday night. Thursday night football is screwy. The Bills have played down to their competition several times. Their defense is not very good. The Texans' defense is very good. I think there is a possibility you find a way to somehow fake this win and get past it. But the Texans, if they do that, they'll be 6-5. They have to play the Colts, who have been really good, Chiefs, who have not been as good, Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers, and Colts. So they'll have 2 matchups with the Colts and a lot of other teams who are maybe struggling a little bit more right now.
Texans are going to go 10-7.
10-7 you got.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's a playoff team there, most likely.
Excuse me, Joe. What is just to kind of answer this question?
Yeah.
What does Ty Simpson have to do with Arch going to the draft? Like, if you're talking about in terms of him transferring to Alabama, that's not going to happen. They're just friends. They've been friends for a long time. They've always talked to each other, even before. That's a non-starter.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Yeah, I think the Tyson. I think there's like you'd be surprised how many athletes know other athletes on teams and talk to them and do not engage in this whole rivalry or anything else stuff as much as fans do. So a lot of people are like, I get paid to play sports and that's what I do, and I don't really care. There's a lot of
KJ Lacey and Ryan Williams are best friends.
Yeah.
That's
all
maybe
right.
that brings Ryan Williams to Texas next year, Patrick.
God, him and Wingo can be the Drop Brothers. I'd love to have them though. All right, one last one. Looking at their schedule now with different eyes, and after a big win on Monday Night Football, Matt, the Cowboys could actually have a winning record the rest of the season. The Cowboys, with their win over the Raiders, and I get it's the Raiders, but now we know this is an Eagles team with 0 offense. So the offense has been bad. Defense really good, but the offense has been bad. A good matchup for the Cowboys. The Chiefs, they're playing at Dallas, where the Chiefs have been really bad on the road. It's not been a Chiefs season. Maybe that's another one. They're playing the Lions. I get it's at the Lions, but the Lions have also had issues offensively this year. They have had some issues offensively. The Vikings, J.J. McCarthy hasn't been the guy. The Commanders are now tanking out as they're done, and the Giants, again, also kind of tanking out, not playing as well right now. So I'm just saying, in the optimist viewpoint here, all you got to do is win more than you lose the rest of the season. Out of the next 7 weeks, can they win 4 of those games?
I have said since the start of this season, after we redid the schedule game, that the most Cowboys thing that could possibly ever happen on earth would be for them to go 8-8-1. That's probably what they're going to do.
So you think, they're going to go 4-3, go 8-8-1.
Probably. And
Find a way to
like,
be a 500 team.
I also knew that if they won this game last night, there would be all of these overreactions about, the Cowboys have figured it out on defense because they beat one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Do you want to tell me the most impressive thing for the Cowboys last night? They played 22 players on defense. That to me was a crazy, because that meant they have more health and more depth than they have had all season long. It is still the Raiders, and the Raiders have been awful. Like, they have just, that offense has been abysmal all season long, so you can't judge too much on it. The health of the defense right now, and the fact that they're starting to get some players back, and that gives you a little bit more hope that maybe they'll be able to at least stay in some games, even though they're going to have to give up points. And then on the flip side of it, you have to go into, can the offense continue against a good defense like the Eagles, or against Spags, who's a really good defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, or Dan Campbell with the Lions, and the Detroit Lions defense, who's been okay at times this season, and against Brian Flores and the Vikings. Can those defenses, and Dan Quinn and the Commanders, can they, against those defenses, put up the 30-plus points they're going to need to win these games still?
I think the offense is going to be fine, but I still don't trust the defense.
Well, no, but I'm saying the defense is going to allow some points. The question is, are you allowing 35 points? Or are you allowing 21 points? 21 points is beatable. That's what I'm saying, is like, can you get your defense to be serviceable to not to allow that? That's when I say that. Like, when you play the Eagles, the game could be 18-12, because that's how all of these Eagles games have been. So can your defense hold them to 12 with just a piss poor Eagles offense that has just not played well? But I don't think it's an overreaction on that one. I think it's viable, knowing what we know now, that they have a second half of the season against some teams that are maybe not playing the way they want to go. And so I think there's a chance that they could go. I don't think they make the playoffs, though. I don't think this is still a playoff team. They have to be really good against some of these teams. I don't see them going 5-2 either. I think 4-3 is pretty more believable to me. But again, they come out against the Eagles and get beat 45-0, and it wouldn't shock me a ton either. So we'll have to see what they come out. And they also play a lot of holiday games. They play all these games on weird short weeks. Will they be able to be good at that? Does Schottenheimer know how to deal with all of the short weeks and the Thursday games and all of that, and getting your players back and healthy? Is that an advantage for them or a disadvantage? We will know more as we get into the holiday season. But they play a lot of holiday games.
Yeah. 8-8-1.
8-8-1 is what he says. That's our overreaction.
Cowboys record of all time.
That was being able to go 500 in a +1 game season.
Mm-hmm.
Chan says on the text line, you should have a call in one day of the week. You know how we can. You know how we are. We can easily derail the show. Chan, I'd love it. We don't have the capabilities of really doing call-ins. So that is why we don't have any. We haven't really tried. I'd have to set up a lot of different things. But unlike when we were at a radio station with a phone line and everything else, which by the end of the radio station airs, we had cut our phone lines too. I did not have 6 phone lines and all of the other things to take phone calls. I also don't have a phone screener, which you really like to have when you take phone calls on a show. You love to have a phone screener so you don't have lunatics on the air just saying random stuff. But I'm not opposed to it, Jan. We don't have the capabilities anymore. Our old school radio days with staffs and equipment are gone.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. It could also be an absolute disaster.
Yeah,
given some of the comments that we get from time to time.
Just yelling matches. That's what everybody wants to see. Just people, grown men yelling at each other. But we always appreciate you on the text line, Chan. Appreciate everybody on the chat as well. Matt, we did see the Cowboys get a win last night, Monday Night Football. This was, again, George Pickens is just thrived. There is, some of the worlds where they're saying is like, man, that George Pickens trade was huge. It's a win for Jerry Jones. CeeDee Lamb has had his struggles still somewhat this season. Drops an easy touchdown pass last night. Just, maybe hasn't fully been there mentally the entire season of focus-wise. But the George Pickens pickup means that this offense is able to run full speed and still use a CeeDee Lamb, who's out 5 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown. Like, he only dropped 2. He had 7 targets, so it's not like it's crazy. But George Pickens being the second guy, getting second coverage, it's just been huge for this offense this season. And it'll be sad to see if they don't keep that around for another year.
Yeah, they need to bring him back, man. If they can bring him back and maybe draft, well, they traded a first-round pick for Quinnen Williams.
They still have one, though.
I know, but you need to use that on defense, I think. If they had 2 first-round picks, I'd be like, all right, use that first one and draft Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I like Javonte Williams. I just, I don't think they're going to pay him. So I really hope they bring back George Pickens. He's been so good. And that is probably the best 1-2 wide receiver group in the NFL right now, especially considering the Bengals' struggles. And that's something that you really, really need to have next year for Dak because, I mean, this has been Dak's best season, in my opinion. So
no, he's been playing great. The Raiders, I mean, I don't know how you go from Chip Kelly being a national championship calling offensive coordinator to what we saw last night.
Because Chip Kelly has always been awful in the NFL.
I know, but it's mind-boggling. But yeah, Ashton Janty goes 6 carries for 7 yards. So Matt, we might have hit the under our predictions. What you would do?
Yeah, what did I predict? 375 yards or something.
I think he's a bit under that. He's a bit under. Chip left Ohio State because Chip hates college football. He does not want to recruit. Like
he hates what he's good at.
So he's really good. So there's also all these rules, like it's one of the things we talk about with Sark, is that Sark runs more of a NFL style offense that is sometimes harder for players to fully learn and grasp in the amount of time that you want to have them to do it, which is why a lot of other schools run more simple offenses because they're really much easier to teach in a short amount of time span. And so there's issues that some people believe that Sark's too complex and it would be easier. It's like Josh Heupel runs a less NFL style offense. And so he's able to get a guy in the second transfer portal and still have him come in and play good enough football. It is difficult unless you get really super talented players to always make that work. You have to be kind of careful. You have to recruit really well because you have to have guys that are, a lot of times more mobile quarterbacks, or you have to have wide receivers that have certain skills. So there's reasons to do both. The top matchups. Also, you're going to get more top recruits in a more NFL style a lot of times because then you are more prepared for the NFL. So sometimes even though the player didn't look as good as somebody else did in college, that other player, the college player, is 2 years behind him because they don't have the understanding of offensive fundamentals yet or defensive fundamentals yet playing NFL style stuff. So there's reasons to put them in and out. But that is an issue that some people have with Sark is that they don't like the NFL style offense because it is hard to put into a younger team that quickly. But for Chip Kelly, he's better at a more dumbed down offense that works in college, but doesn't necessarily work with some of the tricks and everything else in the pros. But the reason he leaves, the same reason he left being a head coach in UCLA to take an assistant job at Ohio State. Mm-hmm. Like who moves down and then goes, he was just trying to get out of college. He just didn't want to recruit anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the reason that he's good in college is because the system that he runs is good against college defenses, and it's not good enough to outsmart NFL defenses and NFL offensive coordinators. So I think he made a mistake, but he likes the NFL, even though he sucks at it. He's always sucked at it. He's never been successful in the NFL, so whatever.
He's had like a season or two in there that he was okay, I think. But he was never elite by any stretch. But it was basically he would have seasons and then everybody would figure out what he did and then it would go. And then I don't know. I think he likes Pete Carroll as a guy. I've heard they've been butting heads all season long. That they're not, because Chip Kelly is also extremely stubborn in who he is. So they've been having problems because remember, his first run with the Eagles was get rid of everybody on this team. We don't want him anymore. And it didn't go well.
Yep. Maybe we should fire Pete Carroll because he's not winning a Super Bowl in his first season.
We should get rid of him. right away.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only, what, 87 years old? Something like that?
86, I think.
86. All right, we're going to take our second break real quick. We'll come back, wrap it up, get you ready for Texas basketball tonight, and get to our meathead of the day as we wrap up a Tuesday edition of Open Gym here on Texas Sports Unfiltered.
Hi, I'm Dan Covert with my wife Hayden. Welcome to Covert BK.
Our newest location in the gorgeous Hill Country includes Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, and hundreds of pre-owned and certified vehicles for you to choose from. We have 3 service departments that are ready to take care of your car, truck, or SUV with 86 service bays to accommodate any repair and get you in and out quickly. Come visit us today to select the vehicle you've been dreaming about.
Covert, born and raised in Austin.
Hi, this is Tom McKay, owner of Audiovisual Consultations, and we would like to take a moment to thank all of our clients for making the last 37 years both fun and fruitful. If you haven't yet, I'd like to invite you to give us a try for all your home electronics needs. There's no need to leave your home to find great pricing and incomparable service. No traffic, inexperienced sales geeks, or pushy showroom tactics. We come to you. So just relax, hug your kids, and smile. We handle all the work. Just give us a call at 255-8678 or online at avconsultations.com.
Say hello to Jason and the gang over at Relax the Back. They embrace a holistic approach for a healthier lifestyle based on 35 years, folks, of proven expertise, and my back couldn't be happier. Their motto is live wellness, and folks, they can transform your routine, your daily routine, into something very, very special if you have back pain. If you're struggling with thoracic problems, if you've got hip problems, if you've got lumbar problems, please go over to one of their stores. They got 2 great locations, and find out a chair or a recliner or a sofa that's going to fit you and going to make your life a whole lot better. I've got this office chair right here that I've been sitting in for years, and I love it. 2 locations, folks, at the Hill Country Gallery across from Whole Foods, and in North Austin at the Gateway Shopping Center across from the Container Store. Live pain-free like the Buck and Relax the Back.
SendTexTickets.com. If you're in the market for tickets to any sporting event, any concert, any Broadway show, anything live coming to town, you got to head over to SendTexTickets.com. The best seats to all of the biggest events, not just here in Austin, but all over the state and all over the country as well. It's so easy to use. Just log on your phone or computer to SendTexTickets.com. All of their tickets are 100% guaranteed, and they will be delivered right to your phone or computer. So simple to use, and you're also helping to support a local business every time you shop. SendTexTickets.com. So if you want to be at the biggest events in sports and entertainment, there's only one place to go. It's SendTexTickets.com.
Back here on Open Gym on Texas Sports Unfiltered, wrapping it up on a Tuesday edition of the show. Someone text line says they can always just franchise tag Pickens. They can. I don't know if George Pickens is necessarily the guy you want to franchise tag. He may not have the proper demeanor to have that happen and show up for work. He may hold out. He may do one of the many other things people do when they get upset about these things. I think it's easier to sign him to a more short-term deal. I know Jerry doesn't like signing short-term deals. He likes signing long-term deals because you can kind of get it. You know, you usually win the back end of a deal. You don't win the front end of a deal in the NFL. So he normally likes signing a 4 or 5 year deal. We'll see what I mean. It would not surprise me if they move on from George Pickens as good as he is and then draft somebody in the second round and pretend that's the same. But Jerry's done well he's done some things well recently. So give him a little bit of credit. He's done some things well recently. So I'll go with that one. And Triple Brutus, I don't think Chip is quitting the Raiders as close to he will be fired from the Raiders. I think him being fired is a much more possible thing than him trying to quit. I think that they would just say, nope, we're getting rid of you and we're going to hire whoever Tom Brady wants to hire.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. Just do whatever Tom Brady wants.
Well, we'll see if Tom Brady wants to do it. Tom Brady's like, you're going to hire my son. They're like, what, really? Don't, Tom, no. Tom, don't do this to us. It's like 12, dude. We don't want let's get to our meathead of the day real quick, Matt. There's a couple meatheads. I don't have the audio of the first one. The first one is just Draymond Green is once again a meathead of the day for getting mad at a fan for calling him Angel Reese a bunch because he kept missing his shot and getting his own rebounds. And then got into an altercation with him. Just like, come on, man. And so the NBA had to warn him to be like, you can't confront you can go to the ref and tell him, you can go to somebody else and tell him this guy needs to get thrown out, but you cannot go and instigate him. That's not a good look. This is how brawls get started. It's not good. And this is also when he's talking about him and Wemby, where he's guarding Wemby and he's fouling him, and then he kind of stops one because, he's fouling him. And then they come back down the other end, and he's like, you're scared of me. You're scared of me. And Wemby gets mad and talks back to him and then turns around and dunks in his face on an inbound pass, which, by the way, the ref screwed him because they said the foul was before the dunk, which is dumb. Should have been a dunk anyway, but it was a beautiful play. If you don't like Draymond Green, it's one of the best because you can see him talking trash to Wemby getting mad, then just doing a spin move and dunking the ball in his face and like, yeah, all right. What are you going to do? I'm just better than you.
I would love to get in a fight with Draymond Green at a basketball game because then I could sue the Golden State Warriors for millions of dollars.
I don't think that's how it works in the NBA. They'd be like, nope, you're just kicked out of all your games. You're like, but I'm beaten up. Yeah, you'd have to. Go ahead.
There is not a bigger trash can in the NBA than Draymond Green. He is such a piece of trash, man.
But this is the other one we'll throw at you. Another guy who I get is maybe more maligned than he needs to be in the media coverage, but I don't think this is the response either, Gino.
Man, if something don't look right out there, blame it on me, right? If it don't look right, blame it on me. That's all you can do. Blame it on me. If your kids mess up at school, blame it on me. Car break down going to work, blame it on me.
I think it's half a joke, but I think it also takes any time you've ever taken blame for anything and throws it out the window to your teammates and goes, man, I'm not bad because of my teammate. I'm me. I'm bad because my teammates are bad. I'm bad because the coaching's bad. So blame me. I'll take it because I'm strong enough to take it, but it's not me. So I'm going to give you other examples that are clearly not me.
See, this is an example of the wrong way to handle that kind of a situation.
Yeah.
Not smart. You know how you're supposed to handle that situation? The way that Arch Manning handled the situation this past weekend. Bringing it back to Texas football like always.
Hey, I love it.
Texas was credited for 5 drops against Georgia. I think it was really more like 6 or 7, and they But anyway, he said, when asked about all the drops and the problems that his receivers were having, Arch said, there's been countless times where I have not thrown them a good ball and they've bailed me out. And so you've just got to move on, learn from it, and keep going. They're not trying to drop the ball. I'm not trying to throw a bad ball. We're all human. We all make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you should answer the question.
There you go.
Not everything's my fault, right?
No. Woe is me. Woe is me. Yeah. Which is what we get there. I think the joke's funny enough. I think it all works. But when your team's being that bad, you just can't. It's not the way to answer that question. It's not going to make your fan base any happier. It's the same thing we got on Sark yesterday about according to who. Like, Sark, I get you don't want to answer this question, but you can't say this to an already frustrated fan base. It's not going to go over well. You can be kind of a jerk if you're still in the playoff hunt or you're in there. You can kind of be a jerk. We'll be like, all right, that's our jerk. But once those things are over, people are going to get a little bit more upset about it.
Especially when you come out in your first season and you say, if I look up 3 or 4 years from now and we have 3 losses in the regular season, I'm gonna think something's wrong.
3 or 4
losses. 3 or 4 losses, and now you're gonna have 3 or 4 losses.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. He knows something's gonna be wrong. He knows. We got Texas basketball tonight. Texas against Rider. Texas 30.5-point favorites in this game. It's playing the Rider Bronx tonight. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll cover that when we get back tomorrow. Start to look at Arkansas a little bit because there is still football to be played this season, Matt. Texas still has more games happening. We're going to see what the weather report is starting to look like too, because I'm seeing more rain starting tomorrow and then rolling into next week. So we'll see how the weather is going to look at this game. It could be an ugly old school Texas versus Arkansas ugly game. We'll get into that and a whole lot more as we continue on this week. But until then, be kind, be safe, keep your underwear clean, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow for more from Open Gym.